Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here this evening. This is Ray, otherwise known as Life and Vibe. And I just wanted to make sure after the disaster with last night's audio that I will take the time to make sure that it is working this evening. So we actually have quite a interesting investigative show this evening. So if you do like to find out a little bit about true crime stories, I think the offended Outcast has quite a lot to tell. And it's more than just his cases in Kentucky. Today, I got down quite a rabbit hole on Mr. Krebs and have discovered that he seems to have been kind of a lifelong offender. And so we're going to take a look at all of these. I do have the copy of the public records to show everything that I do share and share this evening. Just to preface, everything obviously is within fair use. And these are my opinions, and it is commentary. I am a licensed registered nurse, a mandated reporter, and within my professional licensure, I am able to talk about such matters as individuals like Mr. Krebs over here, offended Outcast. So we're going to watch his apology. It's not an apology, sorry, his response. Good Lord. He didn't even put apology. He kind of used the word sorry, but, sorry, not sorry. Is what I'm thinking. If you want to hit the likes, that would be great. Let people know that we're here. Obviously, this is a different creator. It's not Sarasota Tim. For those of you who are part of the Sarasota Tim community, I will be going live tomorrow night. Hopefully tomorrow night is the plan. I think that's what I'm aiming on. Members only. It is an ad-free experience. So if you want to have the ad-free experience of the live stream, that comes under the members only lives. The public ones, yeah, there's ads running. Yeah, what can I say? One sick puppy. I have to give like a benefit for being a member, and this gentleman actually has 2 tiers of membership. I have one. I think I heard it went up to $3.99 or $4.99. I didn't realize it went up that high because I think I had it at $2.99. I don't even know because I can't even find out. YouTube does all sorts of things with the pricing now. Anyway, all of these people have memberships too. So, there's been all sorts of videos obviously being released. And I am surprised that more people have not picked up on the fact that there is a felon on the platform. So I really do appreciate all of you taking the time to follow up with me this evening. But like I said, in order to give other opportunity for people, make sure that you join. Like there's a part in, I think if you're on a laptop computer, that when you say hit the join button to the community, you don't have to join, but allows you to receive any gifted memberships from anybody in the community. And on occasion, even though I'm a small streaming channel, I do have opportunities that other people in the community will gift memberships out. And tonight, being the middle of the month, I traditionally myself gift out 5 memberships. So tonight, if you happen to be new, and I want to thank all my wonderful new subscribers that have joined the community. So we've gone up a little bit, obviously with the interest. And it's for me as a pediatric registered nurse, I feel like it's really important to highlight people. And then you can make a decision as to whether or not you want to support this. He's made a lot of current violations. So him skipping the fact that he's not disclosed his name, that he has firearms in his possession, that's a violation with him being a convicted felon. He also has another violation, obviously, with not disclosing his names and his crimes, which he is supposed to do on his social media platforms when it involves a minor, which is what this was. And I think it's really the message and the rhetoric around his sort of victim blaming is really bad. So I just want to make sure on top of this evening that I make sure that anybody is protected.
Life and Vibe thinks.
Thank you, Zachary. So I hit the wrong thing. Is obviously we're going to be talking about some sensitive material again this evening, guys. It could be difficult to hear some of these things, and so not necessarily medical, but some mental health disorders. Because anybody who obviously is interacting with children, that's obviously going to fall into the DSM-5, and obviously any of these deviant behaviors. The antisocial behaviors that this gentleman has had over the course of 30 years. I don't think it's simply he can wipe it away. So anyway, let me highlight some of the comments here and just catch up with everybody. Hey, you wanted to watch his 2.5-minute response? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad. Yeah. You never see his channel? No, I wouldn't. Well, we're going to watch it here tonight. Yes, 2.4 million seconds. Yes, we're only 28 days to trial. So we are getting closer all the time. His newest vid. Yeah. Well, it's still, the problem is it's not 21 years ago because he is still under certain statutes. He is a lifetime registered offender, and he has not disclosed his full name nor the crimes that he committed, which I believe is part of a state law in Kentucky for social media if you have had any convictions involving a minor. And so he has certainly violated that. Also having a felony. He shouldn't be having any weapons on his property, which he does. So obviously just the lying. There's a lot. There's a lot. Yes. Addressing child support. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. He's been... that's a whole nother one. We'll have to do a react to that one another night because he came into my comment section and then deleted everything. He's very upset. All these guys, okay, I'm seeing like all of them are coming out now. You're going to find a bunch of these channels. I've told you all the exciting things about me. There really is nothing. Obviously, I'm a registered nurse. I have to have a whistle clean background to get into a pediatric care. So anyway, they're all coming out and say, well, I only had a DUI, or I've only had aggravated assault, and this guy, I've only had a third, class felony on a child. And he has a lot more, guys. So that was just the tip of his iceberg. So we're going to go through all his crimes tonight. You know who his creator is? I don't know, Birdie. Just like it. This is where we're doing the true crime investigations here because Tim is fun. We'll do him, like I said, we'll do Tim in members only. Tim's content's been really boring. Okay, we got another tour of the Flagstaff. I cannot. And him talking about golf. You're so disgusted tonight, all the people, defending his behavior. Well, I wonder how long they're going to keep defending when they find out about some of his other crimes that we're going to be discussing this evening, guys. Make sure to give it a like. Yep. All right. Let me get going because if I hear in the chat, people get so irritated. So let's just get into his response. Oh, yeah. The people defending him, it's wild. It just shows you yeah. Well, that's because he spent hard time. He had hard time. We're going to go through everything. We're going to watch his response. Okay. I have a whole, and then we're going to watch his like awful interaction with a child recently that was on another channel. And if they've taken it down, I saved a copy on my phone. We're going to then we're going to watch his thing. We got a whole plan. Got a whole plan tonight to keep it exciting. I made a whole thing. So I outlined all of his things. He's got like 5 big things we have to highlight, guys. This guy has been doing multi-state crimes. Okay. And they just get worse every time. I just want to let you know. Well, not from this. This is like got to the peak of the iceberg of it. But there's a whole progression of his crimes. And I got down a rabbit hole and I have all the public records. So these aren't alleged. These are facts. based on his public records. Playing a religious card. Oh gosh, that's my least favorite. Well, let's make sure we hit the like, because even though we may not get a lot of people here on the stream, because my usual audience is here to see Sarasota Tim, but there's still some hardcore Tim folks here. Hopefully some of the people who find his behavior more egregious will start finding us over here. It takes a little bit of time. I'm going to talk about different people. We're going to go back to the Ouachita Mountain Man another day. We're going to always cover Timmy. Don't worry. And we're going to highlight this gentleman and all his different things that he's done. I mean, it's just, he makes Tim look like not anything bad. Tim is fun. This guy, it's like, this is like the True Crime Investigates. If I'd be surprised if more people don't start to talk about this, because this is really bad. He's like a career criminal with a YouTube channel where he has had so much money sent to him, you know, and it's just incredible, you know, it's just incredible when he talks. You can't. Oh, well, they really are deplorable. They're deplorable. So the only thing that we can do is keep spreading information, because I've got a bunch of these guys on the run. The Ouachita Mountain Man, Ouachita, I think I have this right. Yeah, he is dangerous. We got to keep this, you know, this is a true crime. All right, let's get to his response so we can get to all his other things, because you guys are going to be blown away tonight, okay? So make sure to hit the likes to let other people know. Just all of this other stuff that this guy's trying to get away with. I'm going to give a timeline so they can just see how bad he is.
Welcome back to Offended Outcast. Yes, the doggies are safe.
Well, yeah, of course, because, you know, I'm sorry. I know people hate when I stop. I know. I got someone complained last night. Hey, it's a reaction channel. I have to go under fair use. Like I said, that's why last night, before I went into Ouachita Mountain Man, I made sure he was very clear that I am extremely litigious. And I will get you if you try to use any type of weaponization of YouTube's DMA system without really following through on expensive federal action afterwards. So, and if you do that, I will just turn around and counter notify and sue you. So I've got this down to a science now on this platform. So as small as my channel is, I am slowly growing. I have 28 days to trial for anybody who is new to my channel with another creator who maliciously flagged my channel. Yes, that's my dogs playing in the background. 11 times. They always do that after a walk. And he had it was basically just to shut me down, because these guys don't like when I talk about them. So I am suing him, and we are in court in 28 days, and the judgment's like $30,000. So, and the other guy has no defense. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this. But the dogs, you know, he's trying to, you know, pull on people's heartstrings. I was training as a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
And so am I. Well, there's been some allegations made about me.
No, they're not allegations, sir. They're actual facts. And so I don't like that word already. The word allegation is not true. These are actual facts. It is a fact. You are a lifelong registered sex offender, and you cannot spin a story. That child could not consent. And the fact that you are, this has got to be the most shameful stuff. And anybody who's supporting, I just cannot with these people. This is just awful. It's like a cancer in our society. And I cannot. Anybody who is defending this horrendous human being, because his whole crime line is going to come out tonight. All the stuff that he's done, and it's a lot. He's got a rap sheet, okay, that's been finished off with essaying a child and doing it in 2 locations on her body. I always have to be careful. I know people want me to say the bad words, and why don't you just say the PDF? Because YouTube's an ass. That's why they'll let this guy have a monetized channel, but they'll get me if I actually use the words to describe his behaviors. I should be able to use them because I am a licensed medical professional, but YouTube's a finicky ass.
On the internet, well, and as usual, some are true and some are not so true. So let's get right into this. Yes, my name is Raymond Krebs. And yes, I'm on the sex offender registry list.
There's a whole court file about this, and I've read the whole documents. So we'll get to the synthesized. Don't worry, guys. There's always going to be these people because they don't like to think they've been conned. So I do want to always preface, I am a licensed registered nurse. I have over 12 years working in the healthcare system. I have been training. I was training as a psychiatric nurse practitioner and then switched over to nurse educator just to try to get out of my grad school, which I'm still working at because I'm dealing with a court case. But anyway, nobody cares about that. I just want to say that I do have expertise in taking a look at people's psychiatric profiles and listening to like the words of like malignant narcissists like this guy, which is what I'm thinking. Oh, the stuff you're going to hear, how he speaks to this child and stuff. He's awful. I hate these pity freaking videos. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A mistake? Yeah, no. Well, I hope they hope like all his other mistakes too, because he's got more. Okay, guys? So don't worry. We're going to have more ammunition about how this man has no character. Okay? Don't worry. Miss Ray here.
Just here in Kentucky. 21 years ago.
Good.
Over 2 decades.
Good for you, Diane.
I was charged with a crime, convicted, and sent to prison.
Yep.
Later, that case was overturned by the Kentucky Supreme Court.
Because he had, and I have to read through this whole case file. I've been doing more investigation just of his history and other things today, and obviously that does take time. And so, as we work through, and we will find out and reveal more and more about who this individual is. And so I think there is some complexity in this case. We're dealing with rural, small town America and the relationships between people. I think this is the usual narrative that comes from these repeat offenders who have, I think recidivism, there we go, is high. And so I think that all of this is just a absolute act to continue with manipulating people, which I'm sure he also learned within the prison system. And yes, I have 2 pit bulls who just have been going nuts in the background. They don't care. And if I put them in the other room, they'll just stand at the door and I'll just hear feet all at the door.
All of this information
Good
is
job,
public
guys.
knowledge, easily accessible. And later, the same county reshuffled the charges, refiled the case, and round 2 begins. So now I'm faced with a hard choice. Try to fight a lengthy battle, another 2.5 years in court with no resources.
Oh gosh, here's the pity party. No, sir. If you find a public defender, if you actually believe you're innocent. And he goes on to say he took the plea. No, sir, that's because you knew you would be found guilty. I understand there was some type of technicality that allowed him to get kind of out of prison. And we'll learn about all this stuff, okay? It's a lot. That's why he gets away with this. But he's got a lot more. I promise you guys. Hold your horses.
Or
we got him.
Plea deal.
Okay.
And we all know the end result of that, don't we?
Yeah, we know.
So there it is.
Well,
in a nutshell.
Everything has to be done. There is a way if you feel that because he's not properly following Kentucky state laws, I can't tell people how to do stuff, okay? You have to look at what Google has in order to do things with people that you don't like who they are and what their content is about. I can't tell you what to do. Okay, because that could get me in trouble as a commentary channel and think that I'm harassing and cyberbullying and brigading a community against this guy rather than us just talking about him. So I have to be very cautious about so I can't tell you, but you have to, I'm sure there's people in the chat who do know. And so they can let you know what they do. Okay, guys? Because I can't be the person to say that if that's understood, because YouTube is finicky. I'll get in trouble where this guy will sit with his channel. Okay. And and him violating like laws and stuff. Okay. It's wild. I promise you. I've dealt with a lot of legal stuff with this company, especially trying to call out really bad actors on this platform, which is what my channel is dedicated to.
I will go into this more in detail later. No, I did not share this with you. You're right. And some of you feel betrayed. And some of you feel angry. Some of you are disappointed. And for that, I'm sorry. But my business is my own.
Oh, no.
Just like yours.
No. Unfortunately, this business is not your own. There is a statute, Mr. Krebs, in the state of Kentucky that clearly says that you are digital alias and concealment. Mr. Krebs, you are actively violating Kentucky Senate Bill 249, which mandates that registered offenders whose victims were minors, and this in your police profile, it states 13. That's what it says on your printout flyer, like it's sent around. That's what it says. Must display their true legal identity on public platforms. You, sir, are in violation of that with your offended Outcast platform. Not only do you not ever have mentioned your name, and you've just revealed it in this video, well done, but it also is not used in your description box. And the name on your P.O. box that you want people sending it to is offended Outcast. So again, you're not even using that name for people to send you gift cards to a P.O. box. So you're not clearly disclosing your legal name. Raymond George Krebs is masking your identity from your viewers. So no, sir. People have a right to know. So where you say this is your business and your own, it's not. Because the state that you reside in and the state that you're a lifelong registered sex offender in says otherwise.
Later on, next few days, I will get into this in more detail and tell you my side of the story and share with you what 21 years of living on the registry is like.
Oh, no. Oh, don't you feel so sad for this man who violated a child who cannot consent? Because he's going to spend the same tale that he spent, spun with his legal, that she was the problem. It's really heinous. This guy, and I think that at some point the people will start to wake up to the con. So there's YouTube supposedly has policies about child predators and stuff, and there's another way through a different legal channel that's not the main reporting. That's what I understand. Just as a heads up.
So stay tuned. I'm glad you watched. And, well, until next time, let's rise together.
That is just awful. Prop the animals in the background to get pity. Pity props the dogs. Has this like pity face. He knows he's been blown. And he's not going to stop. That's what always surprises me about these characters. They never stop. Okay, I'm going to start revealing some of the things that this gentleman has done. That was, I think, some of the worst stuff I've ever heard. Okay, why is that like that? I was supposed to have these as, hold on. Let me take a look and see what's going on, because it's supposed to have these made through Canva, and I'm trying to figure out why they're not coming through. So hold on, guys. I can't believe this, because I spent all this time today making stuff, and of course I rushed over here with the dogs, and now I don't know why these aren't showing up. Hold on. Let me see what's going on. I downloaded all these images. Why aren't these images? These are supposed to be coming in. Did I not get them all down? So I just end up... What's going on? What happened to all my downloads? Hold on, guys. Oh, my goodness. I downloaded all these. I didn't download all these things. What happened to my Act 1, Act 2? No, I can't believe this. I spent all this time making this stuff today, and now I only see one thing here. What happened to all the others I made and saved, supposedly? I must have saved them somewhere else. Hold on. Let me see. I see them, but I can't seemingly access them for some reason. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's never fun. I should have checked ahead of time, hey? Oh, my goodness. Okay, let me show the first one at least. Ugh, bum. Okay, we might have to do this differently. Oh, I made everything in Canva today, and now I don't know why they don't want to show up. I see them. I don't know why they're saying that it's a document when it's not a document. It's supposed to be something else. All right, let me share the first one and figure out what's going on. Oh, gosh, I hate that. Okay. Always something. Oh, the work. I mean, I can see them, and I don't understand why they're saying they're a document when they're actually supposed to be files. So I need to try to find these documents, and I don't know why I can't find them either. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to do this. And probably I'm going to have to do some work on Canva and play the video from this couple while I'm doing some edits real fast. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why they didn't save. I thought I was saved. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Another creator fail. Okay. So the first thing. Okay. So Mr. Let me share this too. Okay. All right, just to share this so you can see where the information came from. So I accessed public records today, Thursday, July 2026. These are public records. This does not have his home address. This address that's showing here is not an address that is currently associated. So I'm going to hide that real fast. Obviously, his name is Raymond George Krebs. That's his age, born in 1966. He's 60 years old. It's a male. Obviously, if you saw the channel yesterday, I obviously showed his picture from the registry here in, oh, shoot, why am I not? Oh, shoot, let me take this down. Goodness. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to that. So I did a background check on him today. Oh, yeah, he's making very good money. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm going to try to figure out why my documents went so weird on Canva. So I'm going to be doing some work behind the scenes real quick. That's irritating. Anyway, so I got to skip through some of the information. I just wanted you to see that's his name. I need to go real fast because I don't want to show like his relatives. Okay. So I just, this is his possible criminal and traffic records. And obviously, I verified, went through the court cases, double-checked the date of birth, and made sure that this was this gentleman. So a lot of it is kind of messy, but we do know, I'm trying not to show too much of the addresses. So, but he is a registered sex offender. Lots of different things. So this is the one we're going to take a look at in Florida, which is a strong arm robbery with a criminal felony. It was a felony in Pinellas County that was committed in 1994. This Clearwater traffic doesn't mean it happened in a car. I understand it was a building, and so it's such an old record. And a warrant went to the sheriff because he actually absconded out of the state of Florida. Yeah, he absconded out of the state of Florida, and we'll take a look at that. So I just want to show you that all the information I'm going to share in the upcoming slides, and I'm probably going to play a video and quickly finish them. I don't know why they came out as documents, so I need to get that fixed. So, but I'm trying to be also interesting. So he obviously, we see that coming in, that about it. So you're going to see more about these felonies, and I'm going to try to break this all down as to how this happened. We obviously have the acts against the child recorded in this. He also has lived in Wisconsin. He has had where he was not obviously registered because those crimes had not been committed. But he does have a very serious felony, forgery and uttering. And so we're going to take a look at that closer. That dated back to 1998. So we're going to go through his Florida timeline, his Wisconsin timeline, and then kind of get over to his timeline in actual Kentucky. And then the fact that obviously we just discussed that he is currently in violation of a law because he hasn't disclosed his name. So him trying to state that his own business is actually not the case with his specific crimes. For other felons, yes. But for this particular felon, no. And I think this, his sob story for anything that's been committed against a child is repulsive. And the people supporting him, equally repulsive. But we know that. Okay. But they're supporting somebody who's got these different things. So here we go. Robbery with a firearm, which this is part of this, like, weapons. So he was adjudication withheld. It was felony second degree. So I'm going to try to explain everything that happened as best as I can about this particular felony and how he's been cleared of it and what he did to do while he was in jail in order to do that. He has, like I said, different things regarding his forgery in Ashland, Wisconsin, and somehow something that happened because he was supposed to get some time on that, but it seems like Mr. Krebs, who has different aliases, does go under, and this is just what was pulling up, different aliases and names and stuff. Okay, so here we're listing here with this particular public record that he was over in the McCracken jail. Yeah, armed robbery and forgery. And the forgery is actually quite bad. So he has, so we're going to go from armed robbery over to a forgery charge and so forth. Yeah, he's been pretty busy over the last 30 years. But don't worry, guys. It was nothing recent. It's just a little mistake in his character. And he still has weapons on his property, which he should not have. So, I mean, he's really got it. So I just want to show you that when I go through these slides to kind of summarize it and explain it better, that I'm pulling it from all this stuff, okay? So this is the actual related court records. So this is all the stuff about this Florida felony, okay? And he absconded from the state, okay? So there's actually something in here that talks about his absconding. So he left Florida, even though there was an active warrant for this felony armed robbery. And so there it is. That's that case against Krebs, Raymond George. Okay. Those are his attorneys. Okay. That's his date of birth, just to verify. Okay. This is obviously the agency in somewhere. Anyway, so that's the state of Florida. Probably some attorneys. So this is all about the robbery. I'm going to break down the VOP, what this all means, all of these different dispositions, and that he was originally found, and then he was adjudicated, and then he literally fled. So here we go. You get to see all of this, the bonds, the pleas, demand for discoveries. I mean, this is all the stuff that happened in 1994. Probation, sentenced, changed plea to guilty. Doesn't that seem familiar? Guilty form, judgment for attorney fees, went to the sheriff for a warrant, violation of probation went out, Directions, cost of the prosecution was paid in 2012. So this was a violation of probation. He did something, he left out, and he absconded out of Florida. See, and so he had some issues. And then he settled it while he was sitting in court in prison in Kentucky, because they would have found him through the records. And Florida would say, well, he's sitting in jail, it's been some while, we'll put some costs. So he spent $550 to sort of get rid of the need to be back in Florida to face his warrant from the sheriff for this felony that he didn't face. He left town. So let's talk about that, okay? And then here is the stuff from Wisconsin, and we'll take a look at that court case in just a minute. Yes, he was very busy. You too, Shashi. Yeah, sex offenders, somebody with armed robbery. I don't know the truth of it, but there's a video of someone who knew him, claims he's not nice to his dogs. Well, that's terrible. But the thing is they need a video then. And I think we're going to see him being not nice to a child in a video today, okay? That's unfortunately with everything, with the way people are, you have to show, like, I can't just come out here and say he had an armed robbery. I have to show you, I have gone into these court cases and I have looked at this man's history. Okay. Hey, Catherine. Okay. And it's a lot. So I'm going to try to summarize it in this one. And then I'm going to get back over and try to figure out why my Canva wasn't working. Okay. So I'm hiding the comments here. So this is the first thing that happened. Okay. The Florida violent felony from 1994 to 1996 in Pinellas County. 1994, Raymond George Krebs is arrested and formally convicted of armed robbery in Florida. Because it's a violent first-degree felony, Krebs faces major prison time. But the court grants Krebs a chance at strict community supervision and places Raymond George Krebs on probation. The escape. Well, yes, because he did it with guns. It was armed robbery. So when you've got, robbery with a weapon, then you're going to get a felony. And anything that's walking in with a gun, that's considered violent. Because people usually get pretty frightened when they see people walk into like a gas station and rob a place with a gun. It's lifelong PTSD for those people. So it's very violent to the victim. And this is what Mr. Krebs doesn't seem to care about, or any of the victims of his crimes, because Mr. Krebs seems to be a malignant narcissist who only seems to care about himself. And that's what that video showed me. The escape, May 30th, 1996. Krebs stops checking in with his Florida oversight officers. The state files an official affidavit of violation of probation against Raymond George Krebs. An active warrant, capias, is issued. Raymond George Krebs officially becomes a fugitive absconder on the run from the law. And so the only time that, and let's go back to public records, guys. I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to try to fix the next slide real quick while we'll play his Grandpa Act video. Is here. You can see this is the felony, Pinellas. Okay. It was to do with robbery. Okay. Robbery. And then if you take a look up and going up, because you got to get up in here. It's all over the place. There's so much to work through. That was the first count. Robbery. Felony. Oh, that was the other one. Goodness me, this guy. Here it is. Strong arm robbery. Strong arm, because he had a weapon. Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot. There we go. Sorry, I forgot to have that back up. There we are. That was me just talking. Sorry, it's a lot of screens, guys. I apologize. See, strong arm robbery. That's the one that we're talking about in Florida, Pinellas County. That's violent. When you're committing a strong arm robbery, it's a violent crime. Yeah, he's killed many people. Yeah, he has. Yeah, it's a strong arm robbery right here. All right, guys. So let me get over to the couple that he has met recently, and take a look at their video. And I'm going to try to get these other slides up because I wanted to show those. Well, there we go. All right, so let me go to their channel. So this is a channel that appeared on his channel the other day. Let me show this time. So this is a channel that appeared on his channel the other day. It's a couple that's come from Connecticut, you know, has a story to tell. The video was Off-Grid Community. This one here.
Hi, guys.
I'm going to let this kind of play for a second. And you can kind of get an idea because in this video, the off-grid, the offended Outcast is here helping this couple get the house ready. And then he has quite the interaction with the child. Yeah, buy me a coffee. I do have a buy me a coffee link if you want to keep supporting my work, such as paying to access public records and do background checks. It's not expensive, but your support and thumbs ups and all of that with the channel, and just obviously just kind of tolerating the ads on my public live streams, because like I said, it's ad free and the members only. That's my bonus. That's what I do. I guess every creator has to have something. Helps you pay for like public records searches and stuff, you know, because it's you know, when you want to investigate people. And I have some, I think I've obviously I've got some other people, but I need to get, you know, it's always good to know a date of birth and stuff. So this girl has a past, and so does her husband. Well, I just know that they have come from another state, Connecticut. They are now neighbors and bought some land, I guess close by to offended Outcast, and he is helping them build something, I guess, at their property. And he has had an interview with them on his channel. There is an interaction though between their child, who looks about 4 or 5 years old, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. It's hard. It's around that age group. And his interaction with this child is really telling. Okay. I'm going to let you get a sense of what's going on and the chaos and the sort of environment this child is in, and kind of, and just how she phrases it, and just, you know, knowing some of the things now that he's obviously a felon with a strong arm robbery. And we're still going through. We've got 4 other things to highlight. So we're working our way through. Okay. It's the shed house. Actually not there. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying. So I just know it's he's there. That's all I know is she's filming and he's there, guys. Okay. I promise you. I'm dealing with a court case with Sarasota Tim. I'm keeping up with everything. I have a house to clean and a life, guys, too. All right. I don't want to low cal like these guys. Okay.
Guys, it's I Ain't Hear No Bell. So I know you see me inside of a home, but I am actually blessed enough to be inside of the home of the offended Outcast.
Okay. So thank you.
I just wanted to show you something because I feel like everyone gets to see him.
All right. So she clarified. Okay. So she's going to show him, which is very helpful, in my opinion. Okay. This is my professional observations of seeing this person interact with children and just knowing his history, and then the sort of level that he had, like crimes with guns and absconding on his warrant and leaving the state. This is not a good person. Would you want to be eating dinner with somebody who does behaviors like that? Because I promise you, I would not. And the acts that people commit absolutely says something about their character. And this guy has been trying to get a hall pass for his entire life. Just like, you know, I'm trying to make this quick, and I can keep going into like really detailed about how bad this type of long history. You can't just keep forgiving an armed robbery, felony, and skipping out of the state. The next one we're going to look at with is like forgery and like the depths of that, which is bad. Okay. And then the crimes against the children. If you don't think that shows a whole entire profile of somebody's personality and personality disorders, then you are just not aware, and you're extremely naive and extremely gullible, which it seems like most of his comment section is, sadly. But, I'm not surprised. I work in healthcare, and I'm shocked on a daily basis at how people even manage their lives after I've met them.
At his peaceful and at his everything. And he's always telling us that, he's not the guru of everything. He doesn't know everything. He just does research. And I want to totally put a moment out because I want to show you guys something. He's out there doing what no offense to dads, but what most dads of this generation don't. And let me show you. That's my husband, the neighbors, our son, and that's him. That's my friend at Outcast. And he's teaching everyone to use a chainsaw. I'm not using a chainsaw. I'm not doing it. And I think that's so cool because, I gotta go and I gotta find where my person is. There he is.
I don't think that's cool. Sorry, guys. I'm fixing all my different slides too. Also, I did want to say, no safety gear. Absolutely not. It gets worse. I promise you. There is a poll if you have not participated yet. The question is, after watching Offended Outcast response video, do you accept his narrative? We have 6% said yes. 6%. He has his side of the story. Yes. Let's always, feel bad for men who victimize people all the time. Violent felonies, people who sodomize children. Yeah. Let's give them forgiveness. Some things are not forgivable. No, these crimes are unforgivable. 80%. 14% is still on the fence about it. I guess he just hasn't. I guess he just needs to add murder. I guess if he killed somebody, would that be the thing that you think would make you judge his character worse? I guess I guess having impregnated a minor, I guess that's acceptable. See, that to me is really bad, and that potentially you need to take a deep look at yourselves. Okay. That's just weird. People are weird. I'm going to say that you do need therapy. And that's not a suggestion. That's a recommendation. Professional.
Look. And I think it's so amazing that you get to see a community of an older generation teaching the entire new generation things that no one's ever taught us before. And so, that we've been going off grid, that we've been off grid. Well, today was a hot one. Let me tell you, if MS had a thing, it was today. I was horrible. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't do anything. It was just horrible. He sent my happy little butt inside, said, I have the AC on, stay in there. And I think it's so, honestly, from my perspective, I think it's really cool because he's honestly teaching me what it is to be an old-fashioned lady. I'm inside getting supper.
Really? Rather than watching your child around somebody who's convicted of crimes. Yeah. The law and order conservatives who talk about stiff penalties and decry liberal judges who give, well, they don't exist when you're supporting, the patriarchy on a channel with a guy who's had multiple felonies since 1994. But hey, what does that, that's forgivable. How many things are you going to keep forgetting? Like I said, does he have to actually what if he killed a bunch of people? Is that Is that the tip of the iceberg, or is that still forgivable? Is like Jesus and God going to come in on that bullshit too? This woman getting like totally brainwashed by some like, wild. This is gross in so many ways.
Ready. And do I wish that I had other friends here? Yes. Yes, I do.
Nobody needs to be friends.
But it's so awesome to see that, because like I feel like now not only is he helping and he's teaching and he's showing, but like even down to my son, he's like the grandfather he didn't get,
Whoa,
and
that's scary.
He'll look at him and he'll be doing some nonsense, like he starts sticking his finger in the fan, and we call him Pops. Well, I do, at least. I call him Pops. And Pops goes, "Hey, get your hand out of there. What are you going to do? You're going to chop it off?" And so my son's very sensitive. He started crying, and he's like, "Ah." And Pops is like, "Nah, then you're going to break the fan."
No, you're going to hear that Pops isn't that cute about anything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Why do young women want to embrace submissive roles like this? Because they haven't obviously heard about the sort of like financial abuse, the physical abuse, the emotional abuse. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen on both sides, but obviously there was a tradition of that being levied against women. Women only had the right to get financial credit in lines of credit in this country in 1974. Mr. Krebs only started his crimes 20 years after that. So I think it's important to remember that we don't want to have this. And the fact that the way that this man then talks to her child, it's unacceptable. And I wouldn't promote it. And a lot of people are asking her on her channel, why is she doing it? All right, keep going, lady.
And so it's just so awesome to see this. And like, we are finally a part of a community where like it really feels like the generational knowledge is being passed on, it's being taught, it's being showed. You have all these different individuals learning from him. And like I said, he doesn't think it's a lot, but like to a lot of this generation, he's teaching them life skills that have been lost in time, because it's not like it's taught. And I can definitely, say my parents didn't teach me how to properly do this. You know who taught me and doing stuff as a kid? My grandfather. So I feel like this is amazing. And it's like,
well, that's because he's duped a bunch of people to send him gift cards while not revealing his name. And he has some other, I think, sort of something to do with his wife and finances and all sorts of shady stuff. There's so much, my brain is exploding with this man. So this person, and I think there's a lot of people that think that this is who this person is. Not somebody who had a strong arm felony robbery and skipped out of the state that he was supposed to be supervised in and absconded, and only was located because he was in the Kentucky prison system, of which he then paid $550 to get out of his crime. And Florida, it's cheaper to do it that way than pay for the extradition. So they were happy he could take his commissary money and pay him off. But she's obviously extremely naive, which, it's most of these people are. They're very naive. Extremely naive. It's clear that this lady's not okay. Yeah, she's not okay. Thank goodness. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't send any money, Diane. Me too. She's sending me into a sugar coma. Yuck. Yeah, she's being like, yeah. Women didn't even have their own citizenship until the 1940s. Before that, it was through their fathers. And if they married a foreigner, they lost their U.S. citizenship. Yeah, women didn't have rights to a lot of things. And then these women are just willing to give it all away again. I promise you, I would not give up my ability to own a home or have the ability to make my own decisions and think that a convicted, offender against children is like grandpappers out there. And he's going to be like worse with this kid, guys. It gets worse, okay? I promise you, his true colors come out. It's not folksy. And if I had somebody speak this way to my child, I promise you, the way he speaks to this kid, oh my goodness, I'd be having words with him. Even if it wasn't my child, I'd probably be having words with them.
No one's asking him to.
And if anybody doesn't think, I can't talk about certain things at the moment, okay? I'm just going to preface, okay? I am a mandated reporter as a registered nurse, and I take that role very seriously. So certain things I'm not going to discuss because of certain things, okay? That I just, hope that Kentucky looks at. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. So let's get back to the video.
Do it. He doesn't have to do it, but he's choosing to be outside in all this beauty to teach. And he's making sure everyone uses
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
it.
Sorry
all
about
the
that.
knowledge that was lost or that isn't being taught.
I forget when I add images, it flashes up. Oh my goodness. At least I'm not 8 minutes of silence tonight.
Is teaching, and so it's really unique to see different generations, different ages of men doing stuff, being taught, because like that's the community that we wanted. Like, hey,
she drank some
we don't know
Kool-Aid.
what's going on. Can you teach us? And he's no problem being like, well,
I don't know. I took woodwork classes at school. So I learned how to do technical drawing and woodwork and all that stuff at like secondary school in England. Didn't want to take the home ec classes because I already did home ec stuff like at home. So I took woodworking, which is very beneficial when I laid the floors in my house.
well, come on down. I'll teach you guys right now. Let me tell you something. And guys, it's been freaking awesome. Like, it's been awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Being able to learn all these things. And
oh my goodness, I need a counter for how many times she says awesome. You need another adjective.
he's teaching me that I need to learn my limitations when it comes to MS, because when you have MS, you know, if you've been recently diagnosed, whether you've been diagnosed for years, you're always like, I can do stuff. It doesn't matter if my body's telling me I can't. I can do this and you can't tell me I can't. And
well, everybody's MS is different, and you know that. And I certainly wouldn't be getting medical advice from a guy who sodomized a child.
Being able to have him sit there and be like, nicely look at you and be like, you got to learn your limitations. There's stuff that I think I can do that my body doesn't let me. And you got to just respect the fact that your brain thinks you can do it, but your body doesn't. And I don't know, guys. I just wanted to I wanted to do a quick video for that, because the amount of joy that you get from this, seeing it, being a part of it, school doesn't teach you. The generations don't teach you, because they're slowly losing it. Because I don't know about you guys, but at 18, I left my home. And he's showing that even me at 28, 16, 17, 27, 3, it doesn't matter how old you are, knowledge between the generations can be taught to everybody. And that was my little blurb, because I got super excited and I was like, I need to show this. And that was it for me. So it's I ain't hear no bell.
Okay, we're getting about a minute away. I beg your pardon. This girl is just like, oh yeah, it's yeah. He went down 1,000 subscribers, but I understand there's a lot of people that are okay with his current convictions and having spent time for the prison in Kentucky. But we obviously just revealed tonight he also has a felony strong arm robbery in Pinellas County, Florida, where he took some type of plea and they put him on some type of probation, and then he absconded out of the state. And then Florida was able to catch up with him when he was imprisoned in Kentucky. And then he paid some money to kind of, for the crime in Florida. And I guess since he was already serving time, Florida felt like, well, he's serving time, so he's getting his time. He paid for his crime to Florida. She's quite ignorant. And talking, to this guy who knows nothing about her medical conditions, that is always a red flag to me. Especially something as serious as an MS. which is an autoimmune disease, and it can affect people differently. Not everybody's MS is the same. See, this is something I can talk about because I am a registered nurse with licensure that's unencumbered. I'm not a convicted lifetime registered offender, and I hadn't skipped state after. And we're going to get to the Wisconsin stuff, and I don't have a history of forgery that could have gotten him like 10 years in jail. So this isn't like a simple, just like any forgery is bad, guys. We're going to look more into that Wisconsin stuff. I can only bring out the quick details tonight. It's so much. Because I knew this guy was going to keep trying to lie. So I needed to make sure that everyone starts to find out that he has quite the career history of crime. And it's all types of crime. It just hasn't unalived somebody yet. If he I hate all these YouTube terms. They'll let somebody who did something to a child, but I'm a professional. I should be able to use grown-up language. I know. Oh God. Well, yeah. Well, they're worse. They're worse.
It's just a preventative. During the flood, I said, well,
okay, that's a good time, Junebug, always. Junebug has the best timing.
So I said, well, just stick 2x4 in there. All it's got to do is stop that initial movement. That's all it's got to do. I think you and I both, we picked up our hands. Use all of force. We got to come along. We got chains and
from there. It's going to potential energy, kinetic energy.
All right. I want you to pay. I'm going to try to increase the volume because it's kind of quiet. I'm hoping my dogs won't bark. I have it in normal speed. The little boy is like playing, I guess, close to the guys. He's kind of playing in a tree. And you're going to hear how the offended outcast, and this is just recently, this video, how he responds verbally to this child. Okay, so just take a listen.
yeah, we will try. This part we're gonna pull out with the ATV.
Okay, she calls it grandpa mode activated. I don't know why she kept this in the video, because I call it verbal abuse to a child from somebody who's not in their family. And from somebody who's a pediatric nurse, I find this concerning. This is not how you should let somebody who's any adult speak to a child when explaining a safety situations. It's horrific. It really is bad. And I worked as a teacher, so I not only have a teaching degree, so I have a Bachelor of Education, honors from the United Kingdom. I did children, obviously. I did 7 to 11-year-olds. So I did primary school children. I also have a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and obviously a registered nurse. I work in pediatrics. So I obviously have a lot of experience around children. And what I experience is not grandpa mode activated. What I'm watching, and you'll watch it now, is the verbal abuse of a child.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, don't forget. You can kill yourself.
What are you doing, boy?
You can kill yourself, dude.
Yep. Aren't you just so happy about how these adults are explaining that? What the are you doing, child? And then the other guy's like, you're going to kill yourself, is how the pop explains it. I'm going to play that back again. That's him in the white t-shirt. Yes, that's him. It's him who cusses at the child, or swears, as we say in England. So I'm going to go back. She calls it grandpa mode activated. I call that guy aggressive to a child. Yeah, stay classy, Kentucky.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, don't forget. You can kill yourself.
Yeah.
What are you doing, boy?
Yeah.
You can kill yourself, dude.
Yeah.
That's a piece of-
Yeah. That's how my grandparents always spoke to me as a child. Drop a 1 in the chat if your grandparents spoke to you that way as a child. Drop a 2 in the chat if your grandparents did not speak that way to you as a child. 1, your grandparents spoke to you that way as a child. 2, your grandparents did not speak that way to you as a child. Because maybe people did have that. I never heard adults using bad language. I was shocked when I finally heard my mom use a bad word. That's just the household I grew up in. I didn't hear that language from adults. Because every adult knows that children are going to repeat exactly what you say. Lots of tears. You had a shitty. Oh, well, see, sometimes, and see, we don't want to have children have to continue with that. Sometimes, and then he suddenly realized grandpa mode activated. This woman is delusional. Something is not right. I would never let this guy speak to my child that way. Just wild.
Sorry.
Child starts crying.
What'd you learn?
You're gonna break your leg if you're not careful. No, it's not jungle gym, boy.
Oh, now he
Here.
realizes potentially the camera's there, so he suddenly starts to get like a little bit nicer. Oh, Carol, I'm sorry that you had to have a good grandparent. I'm sorry for the one. Yeah, should have removed the child. Right. Yeah, she should have. Why are they even allowing the child to be near that situation in the first place? Yeah, he changes his tone. Absolute manipulator. I mean, how many things do you have? How many times do you just think, oh, it's a little character flaw? Oh, strong arm robbery, absconding the state. Just, more convictions to come. Just little mistakes, guys. Need to be forgiven. Let's move on. Everybody else is the problem. I'm sure this man is the perpetual victim. Lied about a dead wife. I mean, it's just out wild to me. He's got a video recently that he talks about moving, and he's got 3 million views on that video. We'll see if we've got time to react to that one tonight.
Came up. This part here, this log.
Okay, so I'm actually going to get over to the second, and we'll finish this video out. I'm going to get over to the second one. Don't forget to participate in the poll. We have 68 votes, and I wanted to thank everybody for being here this evening. So I am going to gift some memberships this evening. Like I said, I hope you make sure that you're receiving them, and so you're gonna get those. So let's see who got the free gifted memberships this evening. The Jack Dill, Keith Brown, Gen X 724, and Not Your Average Old Lady, and Cephalo Puppy 8684. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations for getting a membership, and make sure that you hit the thing that accepts that. You have to do it on a laptop. There's a join button to join the Life and Vibe community. But I think there you can accept gifted memberships. So make sure that you take the time to do that. I can't just demonstrate it. Yeah. So I know, and a lot of us, I think that we also want to make sure that we always, care for that. Okay, so let's take a look at this second thing, which happened in Wisconsin in the Midwest. And again, sorry, I should have shared this first. Hold on. Let me just remind everybody that I found the court records here from Wisconsin, so people don't just think I'm making up charges for this person. We discussed his felony in Florida. I mean, how much more does this man need? I mean, and the fact that he came out and doesn't think that people are going to find this, it's closed now. Okay. But Okay, I just want you to see this criminal case that's now closed in 1999. There was this, he again pleaded guilty, no contest. So it seems that Mr. Krebs has a history of committing crimes of which he then pleads guilty. I guess he just can't afford that elite legal team, guys, that would get him off. So here's all the different things. There's his name, Raymond G. Krebs, just to show you that I am not making this up. He was somewhere else at the time. There's his date of birth, 1966. And again, he had some court assessment fees, but there's some interesting parts about this case. Okay, so let me share this. Okay. So the Wisconsin transition. So Raymond George Krebs flees from the South. I give it a little story here, and resurfaces in central Wisconsin, targeting Marathon and Wood counties. What his financial schemes were. Instead of keeping a low profile, Krebs runs a check forgery operation. Krebs is back in the day, when we had the good old checkbooks. Krebs is caught and hit with statute 943.38, parentheses 2, forgery uttering a severe Class C felony carrying up to 10 years in state prison for Raymond George Krebs. The first system blind spots. This is where kind of like before technology, how people could very easily go from state to state and commit different crimes, and people they wouldn't know. So this is how he wasn't able to be identified from the Florida absconding. So Krebs is fingerprinted, booked, and prosecuted in Wisconsin. Yet, because of the 1990s era database disconnects, Wisconsin authorities completely missed the fact that Raymond George Krebs is actively wanted for armed robbery. That's a violent crime in Florida. I'm sure he has an excuse for that too. I'm sure the victims were in his way or whoever. I mean, he's victimizing a lot of people. Krebs serves his local Midwestern penalties and slips away again. So that's kind of what happened there. You just yeah. Wait till some YouTube start making videos. Right. Well, hey, I'm a YouTube creator. I'm going to start making more videos and summarizing some of this. I just wanted to go live tonight with my favorite people. How about that? All right, let's look at the third thing that he did. And then we'll finish out the video and we'll look at 4 and 5. And then we'll see about his longer video. I don't want to keep people too long. Okay, so this is the third thing that then tends to happen for this guy. So 2005 to 2007. So where he was between 2005 and 1999 or whatever, Wisconsin, not sure. Maybe he went back to Kentucky. I think he's maybe originally from Kentucky. Specific words. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I know it's wild. But, hopefully, we'll get through some censorship. You got to wait sometimes. You got to be careful because, YouTube will get you. It's amazing. I've had sometimes where I've had, got hit for adult content talking about people's disordered behaviors. It's not even mine. Me too. Oh, here's the rabbit hole. And like I said, I've already shown you the public records. So everything I'm kind of summarizing, I'm just trying to make it, clearer to understand from all of those public records and all of those court cases and all of the statute codes, because there's a lot of information. And I knew was going to try to come out with a video saying that he has his side of the story. And I just think when you have somebody with this much criminal history and pleading guilty to all these cases, how many times can it be somebody else's fault? I'm sure somebody else, committed the armed robbery. He just happened to be there, or it wasn't really him forging the checks. Or, I'm sure this guy always has a story. I bet you. And then he moves from state to state. That's how they get away with this. And then he came on YouTube. This is what always blows my mind, because these people are such malignant narcissists that he didn't use his full name, which he is supposed to do, and thought that he could build this channel. I guess maybe he didn't think his channel was going to get so large. His memberships. Okay, I have memberships. Yes. He has 2 levels. The first level starts at $6.99 a month. The second level at $12.99. Goodness knows how many people. So people who don't think that this person is making money, I can promise you he's setting up things and he has a 3 million view video. His views are like Tim's. And we know that Tim did very well. Somebody said it really well to kind of think of 1,000 views and multiply it by 5. So think about that with 3 million and multiply that by 5 and think about that. And that was when he was moving and had already been on his channel for some time. So anyway, let me get back to this. So he moved to the Bluegrass State. So Krebs migrates to Western Kentucky, settling around Grays and Livingston counties. So in 2005, his criminal behavior begins to escalate significantly. And he is arrested on multiple severe SA charges. So 2007, the conviction. And we're going to keep looking a little bit at this. The legal hammer falls hard on Mr. Krebs. Krebs is convicted of multiple counts of third degree and third degree. And Krebs is sentenced to an extensive term in Kentucky State Prison. And Raymond Joyce Krebs is marked as a lifetime registered SA offender. So that's where we're at in the story there. So we're going to keep going. There's 2 more acts to go to the life of Mr. Raymond Krebs. And this lady is just think he's teaching her kid. Oh, is he going to teach him how to forge and rob too? Is that what Grandpop is going to be passing on to the children? I hope not.
Came around and smashed this block. See what's over here? Yeah, smashed that block. Buck took the whole cabin off. So I had to rush out here during the flood and cut the log so that way that tree would go down that way, so the river wanted to take it out. Take the saw, put it on over there. Around the house. Over this side. That's healthy. Yes, it is. That was the healthy. Yes, it is. And then we're looking pretty good.
All right. So, yeah, I just think that his chat. Sorry, let me get rid of this dark screen. The way he was chatting, that wasn't great. Okay, let me add this next image up. Okay, let's get to Act 4. We're at Act 4 now. There we go. Okay, are we Act 4? We got to. Did we do 3 already? We did. Okay, so we're at 4. Okay, so this is the secret 2012 jailhouse buyout in regards to the felony in Florida. So in December 21st, 2004, while Krebs is locked up awaiting trial in Kentucky, Florida Department of Corrections finally tracks the location of Raymond George Krebs and logs an updated violation report. They realize Krebs is serving a long-term prison time out of state. The legal loophole. So this is how he kind of gets through this. So this is from March 20th to 21st, 2012. While sitting inside his Kentucky prison cell, a deal is brokered with the Florida courts for Raymond George Krebs, exactly $550, consisting of $300 in court costs, $550 in prosecution fees, and $200 in attorney fees, and is paid directly to the Florida court on behalf of Krebs. The case is closed on April the 13th, 2012. The moment Florida gets the cash, a judge signs an order recalling the active arrest warrant and terminating the probation of Raymond George Krebs. The violent 1994 armed robbery file against Krebs is legally killed from a prison cell in another state. So he did not need to go. Yeah, you have such a legal $550. Yeah, the system is broken, and it's even more broken when you've got him apologizing on this platform. And hey, Angel, good to see you. We got a new one tonight. Why not? Okay, let's finish the last act. Let me get the last act up on here, and then we'll take a look at his 3 million view video. All right, so Act 5. So the last part, where we are today. So from 2015 to the present. So we've covered about over 30 years of what he's been up to. So I know he wants to say it's been the past and decades and all of these different things, but it's quite a significant escalating history. And at a certain time, I think there becomes a place where we certainly don't want to reward these people with monetization on YouTube and being able to, manipulate and continue to use a platform to persuade people with children to be around him. Just it's wild to me. It's just wild. This one does not take the cake. He takes a bakery. I know. So this is what happened. The release. So Krebs finishes his Kentucky prison sentence and is released into the community, and he complies with his local registry requirements, which is why the official Krebs sex offender flyer exists today. Now, I'm going to go in and take a look at kind of all the ins and outs about supposedly his acquittal in this case and where, because there was some sort of, things that happen, and this often happens in these types of cases where maybe the defendant gets out of prison and then ends up, back into the system. And obviously, I don't think anything that offended Outcast says should be taken literally. I think he's going to lie and manipulate just as much as he probably did throughout his whole entire criminal career. Because this man's a career criminal. I mean, he obviously started, young, just wanting at 28, robbing people with a gun. I mean, we don't even know where that was at. Who was the victim of that crime? Because that's against somebody when you're doing that. So he has no consideration of any victims of any of his crimes. People might think forgery is a victimless crime, but there are victims often, even in these types of crimes. What if it was a shop? I mean, and then he continues to victimize this victim of this crime by saying that, he wasn't in the wrong. It's just vile. And the people supporting him are vile. They're vile human beings. And you're okay with thinking they're not right. And it's really disturbed. I'm sorry. It is. So, the present day. The internet recently uncovers that, the digital empire. So what he's been able to do is build a secluded off-grid homestead property in Eastern Kentucky, and he's launched the YouTube channel Offended Outcast. He's gained over 170,000 subscribers by presenting himself as an isolated senior offering life advice, If you hear all his, channels, yes, it is important. Because, the state messed up the trial. Exactly. It's like always these little technicalities. Now, Tim can't because Tim messed up his defense. Only person who messed up his trial with mine is Tim. And it's going to be rapid, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So, the present day. So the internet recently uncovers, obviously, the 2007 Kentucky and convictions with a minor under the age of 15 of Mr. Krebs, causing a massive wave of public backlash. Some, I don't know about massive wave, some public backlash. There's always going to be those diehards. I just don't understand what level of criminal activity and just, cussing at kids and all this, lying to your audience about this, and then not following even the laws of the state that says you have to reveal it. Oh, I'd be embarrassed. It's my own business. No, you have to make it other people's business because of what you did. You don't get a hall pass. This is what I just don't understand. I'm so tired. I really am getting tired. And I feel like a lone voice sometimes in asking for some sanity and not continuing to think that, I'm not a perfect person, I promise you, but I'm not to this level of crime. And yet I will be dogged because I'm suing somebody who also is trying to silence me for highlighting their behaviors. And Tim doesn't have anywhere near what this guy has done. Tim is like a little tiny fish. I wish I could get more people watching this stream. I have 67 people watching. If I do Tim, I'll have 200. So it just shows you how little people care about these topics, and that's sad. They rather me joke about, Tim and his inability to sell his motorbike, because a lot of people just want to have a good time on the internet. But then they want to pretend that this type of character doesn't exist. And like I said, there's a whole rash of these male creators coming out, and I'm guessing maybe some female creators will come out too, all like, trying to let everyone know what their criminal records are. And then you just get these swath of just like drones, like human sheep, who are like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I've lived around the world and I've dealt with so many people. One thing I've learned about human nature, when it starts to be this persistent, this is a pattern. Okay, this isn't a one-off. Okay, this is a pattern of escalating crime. So everything that Mr. Krebs is trying to say, I think, is not it's going to have to fall on deaf ears. So I appreciate everyone just like liking, subscribing, chatting in the comments. You just got home. Thank you, Miss Vicky. Just dropping comments because it helps YouTube think that this is important content to bring through the algorithm. And I've been massively, and I know YouTube always wants to say they haven't, but after I got 10 false copyright strikes from Sarasota Tim, my ability to reach out into the and YouTube, I don't even exist on Google. Like, you ask and they won't know who I am. They literally have buried everything about me. And it's because they think I'm a bad actor because I got hit so many times by Sarasota Tim. He just doesn't take criticism. And so we're going to see how Mr. Krebs does, because he's obviously going to continue with his content. And you just have to wonder, what is he going to be able to say? Is he going to still give out life advice after he diddled a kid? I mean, it's just gross. I mean, it's really gross. I just wish people would care more about children in this country. And it seems sad that they don't. It really does. There's so many things that say to me, especially someone who's worked as a pediatric RN, seen some horrific things adults have done against children, and have all these people defending this POS in my comment section is wild. Absolutely wild. It's gross. People should be, it just tells you what I get blown away. And then on top of it, they want to call themselves Christians. I'm sorry. I am sorry. That has got to be the height of hypocrisy. No, there's no forgiving a crime against a child from an adult like this POS, who's committed like multiple crimes. It is absolutely, they are as disgusting as he is. And they're the reasons why we can't even get these situations ever fixed. Because people accept him. I don't accept him. You should put the name of his channel on your title in bold text. Well, I put I put his name on there. You know, I try to, I have to stay in certain, who can defend this man. He's got a whole comment section, Miss Vicky, defending him. He's got a whole group of people probably call themselves good Christians who are going to forgive him for impregnating a child because supposedly she came on to him. And where have we heard this before? Just disgusting. It's really foul. And men, you shouldn't let other men be like this towards children. It's really up to you guys, because we women can keep saying stuff, but they're trying to make you've got like the Kool-Aid drinking mother out there. I watched him for a few months. Hey, and he always talked about the system. Well, that's because he was in prison. The government and how society has to pay for things, and he was going to go away off grid to go away from all that. He's trying to get away from the fact that he has all this history, get all his money. If he didn't think that any of this was going to come out, then he's so we're going to get deeper into I'm going to get deeper into all the stuff in his Florida and try to figure out more about the case and try to see if I can actually find court records of the actual cases and find out more details. But it's going to take me a little bit, guys. So just give me time. And we'll keep finding out, because he's a trip. Okay. So, but the audience has absolutely no idea about the hidden 1994 violent armed robbery. Well, now they do. Committed by Krebs, the Wisconsin fraud trial left by Krebs, or the bizarre 2012 jailhouse buyout that he had with the state of Florida that allowed him to clean the slate right under the system's house. So he's had a lot, guys. Nomadic fanatic. I mean, how many of these folks, It's just absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, well, let's take a quick look at the video that got him 3 million, I will say 3 million views just recently, when he was talking about coming off grid, and he had a very big video recently. Let me see. Why can't I get, sometimes, there was, let me see. All right, it was very recent, so it shouldn't be that hard to find. Let me share this. Am I sharing that up there? No, let me share this. All right, so that's all of his acts, 5 major things that kind of have happened with this gentleman. Okay. He's not probably losing too many subs. I don't even care. I will take a look at this comment. I can't. Oh, here we go. Hardest part about getting older. Let's take a look at his video history here, because there's one that he recently where he says he's moving out. Goodness me, why do they make this so hard to look at? When he talks about going off grid, and he got 3 million views on it. Of course, I don't remember the name of the title. Let me see if I can see off. Just put the word off and see what comes off. Because of course I can't. He doesn't have it. It says where he's got the most popular. Oh goodness, really, Ray? Oh my goodness, it should. She usually. Well, it depends on how the creator sets up their videos, but usually it has the most. No, that's not what I want to play. Sorry, guys. The highest number of views, but he hasn't set his platform up like that, so that's irritating. So let me just scroll through this. I probably started playing it somewhere, but it's right here. So you can kind of see his type of content here, where he's talking about off-grid reality, all of these different things. Getting, decent views, but there was just this one where he finally went off grid and he got 3 million views. And I can't believe I can't find it now. Oh, you cannot believe it. Here it is. Here it goes. Okay. Goodness me. Okay. So he's always got these interesting IDs that come up. Was that me? Probably me. Okay. That's me. Sorry, guys. So he has a tech guy who works with him also by the name of Jeb. That's an interesting character. He's the offended Outcast tech support that's got a whole different channel. And the drop down is where it said latest were pop. Oh, thank you. Thank you, No Coast. There I am. Well, hey, I'm old. I'm not technically savvy always. Because thank you, Seal. Because this has got 3 million views 3 months ago. 10,000 comments. Okay. Alone, broke, over 60. I sold everything to start over. My real story. We'll take a quick peek. See, let's put him to 1.5 because he's a slow talker. But yeah, this video, 3 million. Does that remind you of somebody we know who regurgitated the social security nonsense out there? Yes. Take it away.
Alone, broke, over 60. What to do? Well, that's a good question, isn't it?
Well, you're none of these things, are you? Because you've been asking for gift cards and all sorts of, and you got lots of members here. This is just where this is disingenuous. Because I know where these creators start to make money, and these guys are pretty savvy to it. And they know where to, get better, obviously, clickbait thumbnail titles than I do. Popped up in your algorithm. That's the thing. Yes, probably a lot of people. That's like Sarasota Tim. They always get these ones, and then people are, and he'd had an established channel since then. But this is, this is how people are feeling in America at the moment, And he's gonna pull on the pity heartstrings over here. This, forger of checks, this armed robber, this registered offender.
That's exactly
3 states, 3 felony crimes. Okay? We're not talking about some simple misdemeanors, folks. We're talking 3 states, 3 felony crimes. Escalating and getting worse every time. Forgery was going to carry up to 10 years. Somehow he pleaded out and got out of that one. Because it's probably his first time in an offense in Wisconsin. But there's a whole list of them. It probably were all the checks that he wrote.
what I was facing a little over 3 years ago, about 4 years ago. Had a home, had all that.
Yep.
Lost my wife to a car wreck. Lost my parents.
Okay, so this supposedly is not true about losing her to the car wreck. The video we showed last night from the creator, I think it was In Cuffs Investigates, dispelled that. And I think there's history. So it's just funny. These people don't think you'll ever check them out. Oh, people check you out after a while, I promise you. It's just the internet. I'd love to get Kiwi Farms on this, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job with the other folks at the moment. But there's lots of people who just say, oh, well, this guy's bad. Don't send people money on the creators. Don't trust creators. And it's more like, you're not going to mention that this guy has a platform and he did all these horrific crimes? Can we talk? I mean, other than just saying, don't, be careful. Well, we know that. But isn't there some deeper conversation that should be had here? But these people are so artificial and superficial. They're never going to want to have a deeper conversation because that could make their channel less popular. Well, that's why I don't ever grow. Because I tackle topics that people don't like.
Cancer. All of a sudden, I'm alone. Now I have this big home. My income didn't change. Property taxes go up. Utilities go up. Cost of maintenance went up. Now I'm looking at a stack of bills, knowing the math don't math.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Really? He did this to us? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have this dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is. No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have this dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yeah, he gets it twice. Now I looped him by accident. Good Lord. And my technical difficulties. No wonder I don't get very far. with my channel. No wonder I don't get 1,000 people watching my streams. I can't even get 100. Not on this topic. And I thought this was a good one. Anyway.
What do
I
I do?
appreciate all of you who are here. I just want to make more people aware. So it saddens me that more people don't want to be aware. That's all. It's got nothing to do with the people who are supporting. It's just that people don't like these rough topics. And, and they'll just, it's the way that people compartmentalize. But we should break, because this community is about bringing awareness. Even with really foul criminals like this is a bad guy. And he's going to try to wipe it away on YouTube. This should not be allowed. Thank you for being here tonight, those of you who are supporting this mission.
Well, at first, I wallowed in my misery. I failed. Couldn't hold the fort, so to speak. Then I come to the realization, I've got to do something, right or wrong. So for me, I decided, well, the only asset I have.
I can see how many people. I have 75 people interested. It's not many. Sad, really. They rather, commiserate this old man in the comment section. It's fine. That's probably me. It's my annoying laugh and my technical difficulties, but that's okay. I just wish people did care more. I really did. I really do. But that's, how many people we got over here on the poll? Oh, let's see. I know. Oh, well, I know, Anne. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just know that I don't get a lot of promotion into YouTube, and they'll probably never take his channel down. It's the sad fact, guys. YouTube will probably never do anything about this. And if we don't make it known and get awareness out there and have people, want to try to, because people are going to be so upset to take away this man's ability to make money. And it's just horrific to me, because I don't think we should support these types. This is a career criminal. Felonies in 3 states. I don't understand. We have no standards of who we accept in our society anymore. There's forgiveness, and then there's forgiveness. Okay. I think there's certain crimes that you commit that just reach a point where you say, this is inherently who this person is. They are not a good person in society. We probably shouldn't promote them. You get all these just hypocritical religious people. Literally, this man has victimized so many people, and they care nothing about those. They more like to feel it's performative. It's a performative sickness, and they all group together, because maybe they have transgressions that are really heinous. So it's good to, it's just sickening to me. This liar needs to go back to the damn prison. Yes. I should know. I spent 6 years of my life taking care of. Right. Exactly. Those of us in healthcare, I've had a lot of prisoners in my healthcare system too. And it's one of the populations that you've got to be really careful. They are manipulative, very manipulative. And this guy shows all the signs. So like I said, I appreciate you being here. I wish more people were interested. But obviously a lot of the men in the community are just interested in Timmy and his toys. That's fine. We'll find more people who realize that this guy isn't great, and hopefully we'll start to spread the awareness instead of having all these male channels and male creators come out and kind of really dismiss the severity of this man's crimes, talk about their own criminal past to try to get ahead of the narrative, because they know that their pasts aren't great. And then try to, say about donations and stuff when they're selling books and, have memberships too. So, most of us here, and I'll be honest, who have monetized YouTube channels, we have monetization because it helps put the lights on, pay for the StreamYard, and do other things, because you don't make a lot of money on YouTube as a small creator. It's mostly a hobby with some monetization. And if people in the audience like what you're doing or want to, show appreciation, they'll give a tip. Now, the younger generations, they're much more comfortable doing it because they've grown up giving to creators and sharing on streams with gamers and stuff. So younger people don't have any problem with doing it. Older people, though, they do have more of an issue with creators coming on, and people weaponize it all the time against people. Now, because you have people like this guy who's come out, obviously he's a bad actor, but are they really, but are they working to try to actually do anything about it? And people will be like, well, you're just sitting here monetized, Ray. Well, the thing is, other things that I do, I can't say publicly. Okay. Just because I've been advised legally, I have to keep my mouth shut a lot of times. Okay. And it's frustrating because it makes I feel impotent.
Left is my home.
That's
it.
rant.
So I put it on the chopping block. Took me a little over a year to sell the home. Get it listed, go to two different real estate companies, and get the home sold. So during that year, well, we all know what happens there. You start looking at everything you got.
Because most of our Timmy guys aren't here because they just want Timmy. And I don't want to just talk about Tim because Tim is I'm going to court in 28 days. His content is dire. It's so bad. The funnest thing to talk about is his KLX sale. We'll get to that probably in the members only tomorrow. And we'll talk about the bike stuff. But we'll save that one, because people just want to come in for the laughs, and I also want to cover some other more serious stuff on this platform too. That's been my whole purpose of this channel. I don't just want to goof about Tim and Nathan Binderson Polk.
I had a full house.
To be honest.
I had my sister's things who died of COVID. I had my mother's things.
You're welcome.
My father's.
You're welcome.
My brother-in-law's, and some of my wife's.
Oh.
So I didn't just have myself to go through. I had everybody that I loved. I had a garage full of tools, equipment, multiple vehicles, and all of it staring at me like a mountain. What am I going to do about it all?
Great. He's a sob story. Well, maybe having spent time in prison. And I hear he's done some real weird things with money. And obviously his set was all fake. He had a boat out there and supposedly lawnmowers. So we don't know how much of this poverty narrative is even true. He looked rough because he was in prison. Just saying.
Well, for me, the only option was get organized, inventory what I got, and start selling everything to the bare walls. Because in order
to manipulate and lie to my audience for 3 million views, which I'll get my calculator out because that's a lot.
To rebuild a life after collapse, my theory was, well, you got to have some money to do it. So I started selling everything right to the bare walls. Furniture, what little bit of artwork I had, my stamp collection, anything and everything that could possibly turn into money. Went through the garage, sold all the tools, most of them. Anything that had any value. Because in order to start over, I had to radically change my life.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't think you're too... you could say thank you to this video too, because just this video alone probably netted you about anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 minus taxes. Because if I base his 3 million views at, say, $5 per 1,000, which is reasonable, he would walk away with $15,000 right there, just for this. So just be aware. He's obviously not alone and broke. All of this is just BS. That's why I don't really like these videos from these types of creators, because they really make me wonder how much of this is true. As much as people don't like me calling people out and sitting here and doing commentary and showing people's content, and the honesty is actually in the fact that, go look at my nursing license. That's all I can say. All right,
I had to radically change how I was thinking and approaching life.
I can't laugh too much about this one. I'm sorry, guys. This one's bad. I would feel just like, anyway, let me not talk so much. I really feel like a soapbox tonight.
over 60. So for that year, everything had to go. And so it did. Sold the house, sold everything in it, ended up getting down to pretty much what I could carry in the back of a truck, which wasn't a whole lot. A little traffic this morning. So now I sold the home.
And so this has been a fairly recent video, as you saw. And so 3 million people suddenly wound up. And that's why I saw that his numbers went up exponentially.
I have a check in my hand. I pretty much sold everything that had any value, what was in the outbuildings, everything that was in the home, everything that was in the garage.
Okay. That's what people do. And it doesn't sound like you're broke. He's not broke. He hasn't been broke for a long time. Seems like he gets pretty cheap out of all of his crimes. Just seriously, this is wild to me. I cannot believe it.
So now I have a check and I have a mountain of debt. So I got my pencil and paper out.
Drop a 1 in the chat if you're buying this story. Drop a 2 in the chat if you don't buy this story. Drop a 1 in the chat just to keep the chat going, guys. So YouTube will keep me up in the algorithm. Because I know you guys are, who knows? Who knows with this guy? But we're going to keep talking about him. As long as he has a channel and keeps putting out these terrible, diabolical apology videos.
Started going down the list. Paid everybody off. By the time I got done, well, guys, there wasn't a whole lot left.
I've only seen his numbers come down 1,000. It's just sad. It's almost like a James Charles. I know. He's a tough one. I did some true crime investigation today, guys. You should be impressed. And the reason why this video is monetized stream, because I have an older audience. They don't tip. The way it goes. So, yeah, we're going to keep the lights on for the studio.
I had enough to buy an old box truck, and I had enough to buy an old camper. So, and by the time I got to that point, that was pretty much the end of the money. So then I had the opportunity, well, before I get to that point, so where do I go, right? Because the home is gone now. You have a camper and a pickup truck.
Well, come on
and a
in.
box truck that you filled up with what you...
Yeah, he's deceptive. And he's committed lots of crimes, felonies across multiple states. So I look forward to all his excuses. And we're just waiting for the next crime to be committed, I guess. Which we already know he's kind of violating probably parts of his parole. But, you know, it's probably everybody else's fault, not his. I just have a feeling.
couldn't get rid of. And since I didn't want to be paying $200 a month or whatever for a storage unit, I decided the box truck was a good way to keep what I still had left over instead of paying a monthly fee. Because at this point now, every dollar counts. You're looking for ways.
Yeah, $15,000. I wonder how much he declares on his taxes. I wonder what the taxes are like. Just the best America has to offer on YouTube. And 170,000 people love this. If I promise you, if I started going out here and talking about being alone and broke and selling everything, they'd be like, that old hag deserves it. I promise you, if you're a female, they're so rough on the women. It's hard being a lady. You know, it's easy seems to be a man crying pity party all the time, even when you've diddled a child.
Not to spend money.
Gross.
And that's what I was doing. So moving on from that point.
Got the teeth.
Where
Maybe
do you
he's
go?
scared of the dentist.
You're homeless. Well, fortunately,
I would like to know.
I had a friend call me up and said, hey.
Well, from what I understand, as long as he's not alone with the children and the parents are with the child, he can be near a minor child with their parent. He isn't to be 1,000 feet, though, to a school or anything else with children. So I did ask. I have investigated, and that's what I was told. But then I've been told other things too. So I just can't say too much, guys. That's all I have to say, just in case.
I've got a piece of property. I want to know if you'd like to go there. You can live there for rent free and just take care of the property and keep an eye on it. Now, to me, that was heaven
That's been
sent.
your experience. Well, you're very generous, Thomas. So you're an exception. And I'm just saying, like, you get more people like older creators and older like people that will say that, you know, they don't ever want to tip a creator who streams or do anything of that nature. And then they don't want you to run any ads either. So, but the younger creators who grew up with like TikTok and who have grown up with streaming and so forth, they do tip creators differently, say, than older creators on YouTube. That's what I'm just saying. And there's a whole rhetoric around it that doesn't exist with younger creators. They don't have the same conversations about who's got a PayPal link or something, you know, as much, unless they find out the person's a criminal, then they may say something. So it's just a different mindset that's generational. It's not that my audience isn't lovely. I'm just saying that there's a lot of conversation currently around this guy's monetization in his channel from other creators who also have memberships, who have books, who have criminal records, who have the things that every creator have, who knows that they're making money and try to downplay it. Will actually say this guy talking about Alone and Broke when he'd had his channel for some time and was probably making decent money on YouTube. It's like, it's just the whole thing that they do. So that's what it is. Yeah. So that's why I'm explaining too about some of the things too, because it's, you know, about the conversation, you know, because younger kids on course. Yeah, you're all lovely. Yes, you are lovely. But obviously you watch streams for younger people and it's different. I promise you. A lot of older, you know, people will be like, I will never, ever tip a streamer. I tip streamers. If I'm enjoying a show, I'll send tips and stuff. There's a lot of people that don't. This guy doesn't stream though. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that conversation, but it is different. And the older generations on the whole do not tip. And I'll bring up the statistics one day. The same way on social media as the younger generations who are more accustomed to doing it. That's what I'm saying. But they'll send gifts to this guy all day long. So they're very generous with certain people. And it's funny to see who people are generous with. Because if you're kind of a sorbic and a little bit more like me, you know, but if you know, putting out the sad tales, you know, people are, you know, rolling. It's an interesting thing. I obviously, I'm just saying it's interesting to watch the dynamics to giving on the YouTube platform. And it's interesting because obviously I have a monetized channel and obviously I have an audience that's very kind and generous to me. But this guy's audience, I mean, this guy has literally a PO box to have gift cards sent and a PayPal. These people will have Amazon wish lists at the start. I certainly have never presented anything of that nature to I think my community would be shocked and horrified. It wouldn't go over well. I had to buy me a coffee because we joke on Tim. I don't really show it on stuff like this because I'm not trying to do that when I'm talking about a serious topic. So they're generous with certain people and reserved with others. My audience on the whole is probably smart around money and, you know, tends to be more careful of the pocket. I'm not talking about Jesus, though. So that doesn't make people want to open their wallets the same. Tim at one point was getting like someone was sending him $300 a month stipend just to spread the word of the Lord. Okay. I'm just saying. When you're a ratcheted nurse, it's different.
It solved my immediate problem. Where am
And
I
I
going to
don't
go?
care. I still
So that's
come
what I
out
did. I took
here.
up the offer. And for the most part,
I still come out here. I still stream. I don't ever put a goal except one time, and it was just because, joking around with irritating people in the community, really. So I don't do any of that stuff. And there's plenty that do. So anyway.
it's been good. So I got here with my little old camper, set up shop, no running water, no power, nothing.
Well, I
had a
know,
place to
Thomas,
park.
you're a good person.
I made it work. It took time and effort, of
But
course.
and you're very good to the
And
community.
turn it into
You know that.
my tiny little place you've seen here. Okay, now what? Well, now I'm wallowing in my misery. I'm thinking, well, I failed. I made a huge mistake. And it took me another 2 years to change my thinking on that, to figure out, how do I recover?
Yeah.
How do I get back?
Yeah, there's lots of white. 3 million views on this. It's amazing when they decide to when YouTube decides to send something viral. Alone and broke. Maybe I should just title all of my videos Alone and Broke. But I promise you, if I did that, I would have my male trolls just come after me. I get like a level of misogyny thrown at me at all times. It's fascinating and probably ageism too. So just welcome to being an old woman in America.
How do I turn this all around? So that's where you end up. And if you watch some of my videos,
Thomas,
I was a train
no,
guy.
Thomas,
I
you
was a
do
mess.
not need to gift Life and Vibe memberships just because I was saying about you being generous. That was not okay. Then I'm one of these literally now at this point.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have best dry begging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Yes, I absolutely dry begged for that one. Yeah, why don't I just say it? Victoria got a membership. Kitty got one. Canadian girl. Piddles the Piggles and Panda Potential. How do I feel like I still get foodie people to this day? People don't even watch my Chantel content.
Did I know what I was doing? No.
Thank you, Thomas. That was so sweet of you. Thank you. That was very kind. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that, Thomas. That was so sweet. I felt like I dry begged enough for that. But God, it's not, as long as it's not like Mikey complains about how much hard work. I have a lot of fun, but I'm just saying it's been an interesting thing to watch because older people are generous, but not when it comes to streamers. But for a guy out here with the felony convictions talking about being alone and broke, not only did he make a good sum of money on this video just from the AdSense, he's got obviously all these, people probably sending him gift cards. I would love to know how much money he's been sent. There were tons of people who said, "Oh, I sent him $100," and I mean, it's just incredible. So it's amazing how we always reward the best people. Hey, Charlie's mom, I haven't seen you in a while. Do it back. It's Benjamin Robinson. I hear his. Well, I'm wondering if he and the gentleman Jeb met. And I'm gonna write his name down. Thank you for giving me his name. I couldn't even find that car. That license plate isn't even listed in Kentucky, so there's no record on that license plate on that car he had. Benjamin Robinson. I wondered if they met in prison. Is that how he met him? Oh, it's just, and I know that people you don't want to always have people not be able to escape their criminal past or have opportunities to have rehabilitation or become something better. And of course, there are always circumstances. But when you come with crimes that involve, violating another person's physical person, those crimes are those ones are a little bit more difficult to move away from as far as that chance of person redoing it. You had the might in the mood a bit. Well, thank you, Thomas. Well, I'm trying to talk about serious topics, and it just sort of I find interesting about the amount of money, say, for example, even with Tim, and the amounts that, probably have been sent to this guy through his PayPal, and the support and the AdSense. And you just start to realize just how financially rewarded these people have been. And it's interesting, and it's a topic because a lot of the other creators, their approach has been just don't give it to anybody, and knowing that YouTube, while they have a membership on their channel, which obviously a lot of times he doesn't seem to provide anything. He's got 2 tiers of membership. I don't see that he has a lot of members only videos. I don't even know if he's actually trying to fulfill what his membership says he does. And he's got one that's like $12.99 a month. I wonder how many people are just signed up and just are happy to give him the money, just don't care, because they feel bad. So anyway, yeah. Remember his downfall. You'll have male trolls. Oh yeah. Oh, always do, always. Especially if I dare to talk out against,
Everything was
I'm a terrible person because I'm just a registered nurse.
trial and error. All I knew is I had to stop the financial loss. I had to stop the bleeding.
What financial loss? This is just like what if I came out with this big of a pity party, I don't think I would get 3 million views and 170,000 subscribers. I guess it's how it's presented, hey. I'd have to look more like ragged and beat up, like I'd spent, a good chunk of time in prison.
And the only way I could do that was watch every dollar. Because when you're living on $1,100 a month Social Security disability, you don't have a lot of them to play with.
Oh, yeah, Mike. And then he gets very upset. I mean, like, he literally has goals to share his information, and looks for his PayPal. And people were sending him like money left, right, and center. When I watched, I had a video where I saw that he deleted it. I was like, oh my gosh. I've joked and done it, and I realized I can't because then I get just trolled too hard. I did it one time with Tim's letter, joked about doing something, and I realized you just can't do it because people get really finicky around it on YouTube. And so it's like a rock and a hard place when you're a streaming creator too, especially a little channel. And there was a lot of conversation about it. But yeah, he had a P.O. box just to get gift cards. That's what I find so wild. And like I say, I don't refuse treats for the dogs. But, so that's, so you kind of feel like, oh, I can't criticize this, so I kind of feel like, do I just then get rid of all my monetization? Well, then I'm like, no, because YouTube actually costs me money to run my channel. So I need to get some type of compensation just to balance it for the, for the cost for the streaming and everything else. So it's like, so it's the ethical question. I'm in a dilemma tonight, Thomas.
So I kept my costs extremely low. Learned to separate my wants from my needs. And the whole time, feeling miserable for having to do it. Not realizing that I was onto something here. Because in order to rebuild or
start
a new life, you need to separate yourself from the old life. So if you're trying to do this and think you're going to hang on to everything.
No, as long as, there's nothing illegal about wearing the hat or having a Semper Fi. But if he actually started to say he served as a Marine and tried to get something in that respect, then that is an issue. And I know there's like stolen valor channels that then investigate those people. Because there's a lot of people that really do like cosplay. I don't know how much cosplay that is considered. Because I was looking into that, I promise you. It's up there with the strong arm felony robbery and the forgery felony in Wisconsin for the checks, and of course the stuff in Kentucky. Oh my God!
Thing along the way that you accumulated. All the family
This
mementos.
is a 3 million view
all the
video,
treasures,
by the
all
way.
the tools, all the artwork, all the stamp
All these
collections,
conservatives,
whatever it is you might have accumulated over the years. You can't.
Yeah.
And when I said a
Yeah.
radical change in thinking,
Yeah, sounds like it's got some COPD going. Yes, they always say that. It's very interesting that, or religious people, the hypocrisy of people who are religious and forgiving the worst crimes that people have committed against children to forgive an adult, especially an adult white male, is absolutely horrific. And it's a sign of a patriarchy that people find the conversation that I may have uncomfortable, but it's true. And we're adults and we should have higher functioning discourse and conversation around these topics. That's what elders with wisdom are supposed to do. And somebody who's cosplaying as a wisdom and an elder like this guy, this is scary. It's really scary to me. When you lose your teeth, it naturally ages you. Yeah, it does. Well, it's that prison life. He is very manipulative. Also, being in prison is going to age you really fast, too. I promise you. Prison will age you. It's basically his age, but looks like she could be his daughter. Well, you are too kind. He has claimed to be a Marine. Well, there's no history he ever served. He would have had to serve before the age of 28 because that's when he started doing strong arm felonies. We can search records for that and see if he's listed. From what I understand from my very sort of like basic research without getting into a full like database is obviously looking at the that part of the stolen valor. Oh yeah, there's all sorts. And the spread, amazing. Well, you're so kind, Kristen. You deserve well, it all goes to my dogs in the channel. His comment sections on today's video is blowing up. Thank you, Ray. Well, I don't think it's just me. There's been a lot of other creators getting a lot more of this message out than I have because my videos are too long. I haven't put out a 15-minute video. I might do something quick about just his criminal history and put that out. So if people will click on it just to help it get to the algorithm, I would appreciate it. So I might just do an explanation of his, 5 crimes with some of this stuff and try to do something briefer that will be more YouTube friendly for the content. You can't wait to hear his side. Well, so far his side is he hasn't done anything wrong. Of course. He just had to take the plea deal. Because he couldn't afford the expensive attorneys. It sounds like the excuse of the con century. So pales. Yeah, the stolen valor is bad, but the armed robbery and the felony forgery, because having a forgery, that shows like a level of like, he's pretty deviant. Forging for money and stuff. These are bad. I mean, he's got like every gamut of societal crime. I just don't understand. Where's the forgiveness? He is rough looking. Jesus. Prison got him bad. Ooh.
That's what I mean. Literally sold myself to the 4 walls. Had to start completely over. And for the most part, it turned out pretty good.
Thank you, Catherine, for hanging
here we
in
are,
there too,
3.5 years later,
Catherine.
And I've now managed to be able to start the process of getting my next homestead. I save the $100 bill every month.
How does she know that? Because of what he said? That's just awful. And I think when other women try to say that about children who are girls is the worst stuff I hear. That's like sick in the head. That is literally like I just don't get. And if I had a conversation, I would really enjoy a debate with that person. And they probably would not enjoy the debate with me because I get real rough on people real quick. And I have a no holds bar. I'm pretty tame on the internet, believe it or not. If I actually really wanted to go for the jugular on somebody in a debate, I will do it. And I'll come out with facts and policies and other things because I'm probably more and better read than most of the people, especially anybody who is trying to blame a child for being violated by an adult. It always just disturbs me. And then usually you look into these people's history and they've got something that's totally disgusting too. And then they hide behind a cloak of religion. It's just these people that just, it's bad. It's just like the worst time. The fascinating thing about social media is how it just seems to bring out the worst people. Literally.
For the last 3 years. That helped. That gave me what I needed
Never been
to
released.
start this
I
next
know.
step in my life.
Should have been released your life. From
No, that's not a lot of money,
yeah.
is it? No, it ain't. But it meant something to
Oh
me.
yeah.
I had created
yeah.
a margin, something to
Oh yeah,
work
they
with.
don't. The white patriarchy in America is well and truly alive, everyone. And everyone wants to get at me and say I'm being mean to white guys. Thomas is like my stalwart. He's so sweet. You're so sweet, Thomas. You really are. Because it's not about that. But it is when you see the amount of forgiveness given, because I can promise you, if he were a different ethnicity, it would not be the same. If you saw all of that record that I showed this evening, dating back from 1994, he would not be looked at in the same way. And if we aren't able to recognize that as a society, then we're never progressing. We're going to keep letting people like this violate us because he's still committing crimes by manipulating people on YouTube. He's still making victims. This is what is just so horrific. And yet people can't see it for what it is. But, that's why when Tim and I go to court, this is my court case and this is Tim's defense, because the level of thinking that happens sometimes is wild.
By keeping my costs at very minimum, I was able to put something aside. That allowed me to take this
not
next
the
step.
minimum cost. Thank you.
It wasn't easy.
Thank
A
you.
lot of tough months there, especially in the winter.
All right.
Because you're thinking, well,
This
you could go do this,
right.
or you could go do that.
Right. Yes. Yes. They often have victimized other people. And tonight we showed him cussing at that child. This is not a man who treats any but children with respect. And as adults, if we cannot protect the most vulnerable in our society, who are we? Who are these people who are talking about a 14-year-old child? It's disgusting. It's the same excuses that you hear around the Epstein files. It's just bad, and it's a double standard.
But every time I would go do that,
And I hate it. I can't stand it. I see so much religious hypocrisy and double standards, and I find it really vile. And this just highlights again just the vileness of people. And I'm talking about his comment section who continues to support him. They are as equally complicit in having this type of individual be promoted. It's just vile. It's vile. Vile. Since when have we been so comfortable with making sure that the worst of our society gets so well rewarded? Obviously, nowadays, if they come out with a good enough story, hey? Gosh, it's just crazy. But I promise you, I'm going to get really attacked.
I was putting myself a step behind in reaching my
Oh,
goal.
to me.
Then I started this YouTube channel.
Oh,
And at first, it
God.
was just a place for me.
God's going to be found in the next video, Thomas. because, now everything about his past is going to come out. So he's going to be finding religion real fast. Oh, I'm sure he found God in prison. Who knows? I'm sure it's on the trajectory, though. They do. They all do the same. This is amazing. When you know that they're probably getting 6 figures off of YouTube for this. It's like, gosh, there's so many criminals. It's amazing. This guy makes Tim look like nothing. Tim don't have anything compared to this guy. And Tim's done some egregious stuff, man.
To shout into the void and feel miserable, dejected, alone, rejected, scared, vulnerable. But something changed. I built a community. We built a community.
Oh, tonight in a motel room? Or over here when he was over there? Because I'm kind of catching up with his story. Who knows? He's probably hiding from people. Probably hiding from the police. I wouldn't trust anything with this guy.
Through that, everybody uplifted me. I got feeling better about myself, feeling better about the choices I made.
Oh, God.
Started really narrowing down what I wanted to do moving forward.
Well, his behavior is really bad and he's being forgiven. I just think if you have somebody with felony armed robbery, felony forgery, and a felony against a child in the way that he was, if he was black, it would be a different story. I'm just being honest. I've lived enough time and traveled. I was born here in the United States. There's a heck of a lot of racism. I'm sorry. It's just a fact. And that's one thing that we as white people also have to get comfortable understanding. So, I know people get upset and Americans get real touchy, and I was born here, so I know there's an accent. But, I was born in Virginia, right here in Portsmouth. Had the most racist grandmother you'd ever meet in your life. So I know a thing or two about Southern racism. So, yes, it has everything to do with ethnicity in this country. Absolutely.
You guys helped shape all that.
So I disagree.
And for that, I truly thank you.
Sorry on that one, Gravy.
So, I've sold everything. I paid everybody off that I owed. I built up a small cushion, a margin.
They would forgive him for any crime, as long as he's white and a man. Flip it on anything else, even being a female. Promise you, it's a whole different story. That's just the truth. That's the society that we currently live in. And we either start changing it or we just allow it to keep happening. And his comment section is going to allow it to keep happening. And I don't mind tackling the tough topics because these are the things that make me think.
And now it's time to start the new life. But in order to do that, guys, you really have to separate yourself from the old life. You can't take it with you. You can't box it all up, throw it in a storage unit, and say, I'm going to keep all this. You're not. All you've done is tied an anchor around your neck.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of respect, and there might be other young men who follow all that. It's disturbed. Their pathology is disturbed. You can't just keep blaming women for your I couldn't even watch the documentaries. I didn't even want to give any time to it because it's so really bad. It's just really bad. And then the number of women I see kind of complying with it as well it's really just it's something that I would have hoped that I would never have to see in a society that seemed to be progressing. And it seems to me that we just went backwards. And so it's frightening. And the sort of aggression and the misogyny towards women and to a young girl that this man violated is absolutely appalling. It shows just a level of barbarianism and a level of just like society not progressing. I mean, to me, it's just society went backwards.
When I say radical change, I mean exactly that. Clothes on your back, basic necessities, food, water.
I don't think he felt any of these things. I wonder about the wife, supposedly, he left at the assisted living facility. This guy's a creep. Just hearing him and just complaints, it's hollow ground now. But 3 million views, just let that sink in, okay? 3 million views on this.
Shelter. That's it. You cut back on the trips to town. You cut back eating out. You relearn how to cook for yourself. And you do the best by your animals. So that's what I did. Is this going to work for everybody?
Sounds like he has emphysema. He sounds like he's a pink puffer. This man was a smoker. I don't know if he still smokes now, but he's pink, he's puffing, he's skinny, and he sounds like he's got emphysema. That's just my assessment. I've worked with a lot of patients with COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. There's 2 types, emphysema or bronchitis. Your bronchitis COPDers are your blue bloaters. So they get blue and puffy and stuff. Your emphysema COPDers, it's all from smokers. They're the pink puffers. Skinny, and they're puff, and they're pink. So this guy was a heavy smoker and probably has emphysema. There you go. There's my medical. There's my medical. I share my medical expertise with the audience too. That's part of what I hope would be exciting for people. You actually get to talk to a real registered nurse, not just your average associate's degree, like one who's like in grad school, who really cares about public health. I hope everyone's listening about that parasite that's going around. Watch out, guys. There's a nasty bug going around that's causing the poops and the squirts. I think it's a cyclosporin. I think that's some type of cyclosporin, something or another. I watched something from the Virginia Department of Health today. So just be cautious, everybody out there. Make sure you always wash your hands, wash your vegetables and fruits.
Probably not. Did it work for me? Yes. I made it work. Was it a victory? I like to think so now. I didn't appreciate it when I started.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I was...
Yeah, these guys are never repentant. Not when they've got that sweet, sweet YouTube cash and enough people manipulated by their lies that they're okay with it. Let's lie together, because that's all these people are now. Anybody who supports him in his audience just is complicit to his crimes at this point.
Just as confused as all of you. Where do you
I
start?
don't mess, man.
What's the first step? Where do you go from here?
In my 60s, really, I have
Well,
consequences.
that's what I did.
I learned early on. Right.
Now, in about a month?
Yes. Absolutely. And for most of us, we seem to get consequences, but some of these guys, they don't have any consequences. They get richly rewarded by people who suddenly feel like they can, be the arbiters of, what's good in society. I'm so sick of this religious forgiveness crap. I really am. I'm going to be honest. I think some people you shouldn't. I don't think there's necessarily it's always that healthy. You can move on from something, but I don't think you always have to forgive people. I think that's absolute Christian crap. That's the one thing that I got from growing up as in the Church of England and going to church that I always have thought is a bunch of bullshit. Pardon my French, but I that's true. I think there are certain things that people do that it makes their life easier if you forgive. It's supposed to make you, be able to move on. Sometimes you don't forgive people, but you still get to move on, believe it or not. I think that sometimes is just the garbage we don't need. Because there's people doing some really heinous ass shit out here, and I don't think they should all be forgiven. And that most of these people are just absolute the worst hypocrites too. It's just so bad. It's really bad. The hypocrisy is almost in catastrophic, atmospherically massive levels. It's wild. Just wild. It's all over the place. Don't worry. It's in England too.
I'll be moving on to my own piece of property. It took a little over 3 years, guys. But to me,
No.
that's the best part.
Well,
Because
he
over
can't
this-
probably empathize with the victims when he committed the armed robbery in Florida in 1984 either. Because when you're doing a robbery that's armed, it's probably because you're going to be getting something with people around. Like I said, I'll delve into that case more and see what he actually did. But sometimes it's hard to find these old cases, guys.
3 years.
Like all the absolute details are to, you have to get these court cases. You often, I'm going to try to see if I can find it through a public registry. But sometimes they're harder to find the older cases.
Grown a lot. I've gotten a little bit wiser. And I've learned that sometimes you have to sacrifice everything to start new. So if you're facing this kind of a situation
I
in
don't
life,
forgive many people. It's just me. Unless it's like, it's got to be something small, like, they did something and, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. But when it comes to like some really bad behaviors of people, it's hard for me. I know there's all these prisoners who need to be rehabilitated and young people, and there's a lot of societal. Well, this guy has like, if he's young and he just had that one thing in Florida and he did his time, and, ever since that, he went into the military or did something and, took his life into a completely different path. Yeah, I think then that people should be given an opportunity to continue with their lives, that people shouldn't be shackled with a criminal background in order for them not to be able to progress in society. I don't think that's helpful. I think we should make sure if we do have people in the system that they can come out to something. But when you're coming into some of these violent crimes, especially against children and his nature, I'm sure he did not have a good time in prison. There's just reaches a certain thing. I think we have to have some standards in what we forgive. And I think we used to have standards. And I think those standards have slowly been eroded over the last decades. I feel like they've been eroded.
you're going to have to change how you think. You're going to have to change how you approach it. There's no easy answers when you're going through this.
Oh, okay.
Because
Thank
when
you
you're
for
alone,
clarifying. Well, of course, a white woman. That's why I say, yeah. Well, yeah, about the ethnicity. Well, yeah, I probably should have prefaced for gender too. But there are some, I understand, some white female creators with very bad criminal histories. One whose husband is like an active, has crimes against children, the same that this man has, and is sitting in a jail in Tennessee. And she has a massive social media platform as a lifestyle content creator. And so, and I think, there's some others that have some dodgy backgrounds that, so it's amazing. There's a lot of them. Some have been potentially, there's some where I've ran into true crime channels and they've talked about their past. And I've decided I just don't want to support that person. Because sometimes it's just like, it's a deep societal issue, But this guy, I think, has reached the point where, yeah, he's past that. But I think for women, too, it is harder. But there are ones on TikTok and stuff that get away with some stuff, man.
Broke, and you've lost your life partner. You've lost the other half of your retirement. Because now, when you're trying to do
this
this on
guy
one end,
doesn't repent anything. This guy's not repenting. And I don't think half the time you can even trust that. I'm sorry. People, I've studied psychiatry, and you just know that most people are very manipulative. I've had and maybe it's just dealing with people in healthcare too. But, when you've had, people who are drug seekers, people who, you get some, I've had every type of person, the nicest person you can imagine down to about the worst you can imagine. And everything in between.
most of you are not going to make it. All depends on how well you prepared. And for me, life got in the way. Through the loss of my family members, that, of course, eventually wiped me out financially.
And none of us are perfect, okay? So I think that's what people are like, well, none of us are perfect. Well, we know that. Most of us have done some things. I have traffic tickets. I've sped, okay, to get to work, So I'm not perfect. But there's certain levels of crime that I think that we just have to start saying, no, this is not acceptable. And this is one of them. And the people in his audience, especially I don't even care if this guy was trying to repent. I would never trust this type of career criminal. Just from everything I know from studying psychiatry, this man also too gives me absolute malignant narcissist vibes. Absolutely unable to be treated. Not only does he have the antisocial behaviors, this is the narcissism about how he thinks about himself and stuff in that response video. It's all there. It's textbook.
So there I ended up.
Oh, it's awful. It's
But
so
now-
bad.
I feel good. I don't have much to worry about. I don't worry about what's coming in the mailbox. It's taking a long time to get where I'm at.
Yeah, I would. This pink puff and emphysema, child abusing. I mean, just there's nothing to trust. I can't wait to get his videos, guys. We're going to mix everybody up. There's going to be Timmy. There's going to be everybody.
No, it's not perfect. But for the most part, I'm happy. I sleep well at night.
I don't know how. You're lying to your audience, and you're supposed to put your name out there so people know that you're a registered lifetime SA offender, and you didn't do that of a minor child, and you're still trying to hide away from it. And the fact that you lied to your audience, and now you're going to come out for the repentance stuff, and the forgive me, and it's my own business. No, it's not actually. State of Kentucky says no. It's supposed to be public business at all times. I can't stand this man's oh my goodness, people. Why?
Things are looking up. I feel good about things. I feel good about the
I
future.
don't like. Hey,
So,
hold on, you.
If you're looking,
I don't always like covering these characters either. I find them disturbing. Okay, but we have to put this one out here. We cannot allow him to happy dance his channel. Okay, we've got to keep the pressure on. It's going to be hard because a lot of people are going to find this one tough. So all the people who've feel like hopefully they'll find the community here. Hopefully. But there's so many, it's just wild to me.
to have to make a change like this, don't wait too long. Time is of the essence. The longer you wait, the deeper the hole you're going to get into. So if you can move now while you still have options and choices, this is the time to act. Don't wait too long.
Oh, I'm sure he has it under his name. I have a feeling the other channel was that Jeb uses his name too. Who knows what's going on with those guys? Sure, there's a whole story there. I'm sure they're protected by an old boys network of people down there too. Oh Lord, deliverance.
Because you might not recover. And again, I want to stress, this may not work for everybody, but it worked for me. You're going to have to change how you think. You're going to have to change how you live your life.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm okay with that. If you want to call me a name, and I'm a progressive, actually. I'm a socialist Democrat and a progressive. That's very different from a liberal. So you need to get your things straight. And conservatives who have values that are very hypocritical, yeah, I'm going to call them out. So if you're offended by that, I'm okay with that. Goodbye.
You're going to have to learn to sacrifice everything in order to do it. You can't hold on to the old life expecting a new life. That's that simple. Anyways, guys, that's what I got for today.
See, you supported this guy because he had your values, supposedly. Well, I promise you, I have conservative family members, and I don't dislike all conservatives. But since you feel that I have to have lifelong being bashed by people like this guy, and obviously somebody like you who just decided to bash me as a progressive on my own platform, How dare you have the audacity to protect yourself? What a hypocrite. I'm glad you unsubbed from my channel, and I hope you stop watching. I actually don't care. I'm an apples. I've actually started to care less about that when I see the crimes against children and how they seem to be part of the conservative values. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry if it upsets people in my audience. Just, it's a hypocrisy. It's hypocritical.
You'd ask, well, how did I go about it? Well, that's pretty much how I did it, guys.
And what exactly?
Sacrificed everything.
And I'd love to know what people who want to have a society that's progressive and equal, why is that so bad? I can't stand religious hypocrites. And the America's full of them. Jeez.
The old skin for new skin.
Sorry.
And now, getting ready to make the new change. And if you're going to try something like this, think it through.
I know.
Plan accordingly. And be prepared.
I don't know how much longer he's going to live with that pink puffin anyway. He's got some emphysema, guys. That's miserable. Good. I'm glad. I hope his O2 sats are dropping. They get real miserable. I can't think of a better person to be miserable, to be honest. I'm sorry. I'm a nurse. I know. Shouldn't say stuff like that. But I'm a human too. A human who doesn't particularly care for these types. Get up over the set. No, the liberals. Oh, I'm so tired of that rhetoric too. Goodness me. It's just tiring. Tiring.
Prepared for the ups and the downs, the emotional roller coaster. Because it's hard. It's painful to let go of what was.
I know.
But if you can embrace what can be, well, I'll see you on the other side then. Thanks for tuning.
I guess people felt bad listening to him pink puff his emphysema little old butt up the hill. All right, keep puffing, emphysema king. I'm sorry, I know. I'm supposed to be nicer because I'm a nurse, but I do pediatrics. I don't do the adults anymore because I couldn't take... Actually, COPD patients are just like, they really suffer. That's all I know. He got to be feeling uncomfortable. Oh, goodness. Wow, guys. Oh, let's get this poll ended. Hey, all right, I got 137 votes. It's actually more than I thought on this topic. Good Lord. I feel like I've gone through every emotion. And that's okay. Because, I'm happy to have these conversations, these difficult, tough conversations. I'm Gen X. I've lived around the world. I look at things a little bit differently. And I just say it how I see it. And I've seen so much. I see hypocrisy in a lot of different places I've been. Anyway, I'm going to do a poll. Okay. So let's see what the mentality of the audience is. So after watching his response video, do you accept his narrative? 78% say no, these crimes are unforgivable. Seems like 78% of the audience probably has healthy mental functioning. Thank you. 13%. I'm still on the fence about it. Really? The people, those 13% who sit on the fence, probably some of the most least critically thinking individuals that you'll ever meet in your life most of the time. When they've been presented with facts about somebody's criminal background and they see old Pink Puffer out here who obviously intentionally hid it on his YouTube channel, and then when it was only revealed, has come out with the most malignant, narcissistic comment ever. The fence sitters over here have got to be probably about the most detrimental in society. But you do you, sweethearts. Okay. And then 9%, yes, he has his side of the story. Well, we already know pathologically who really is mentally ill. That's my mental health assessment. And I'm just going to say it like it is. How about them apples? Ha ha. The devil owns the fence. He does. It's about a child. Oh, I know. It's about a crime on child. Oh no, for these conservatives, it's always about politics because they can't separate their politics from a crime. And they assume that if you've mentioned something about a conservative who's committed a crime, you're bashing conservatives. And that's why these people are absolute foul hypocrites. And I don't really care because their politics means more to them than anything else. And they have literally destroyed this country and made it a fucking cesspool. These religious nutbags and these conservatives have made this country a cesspool. And that's my opinion. I'm sorry. They have. They've and if and they absolutely rule the airwaves. And I don't have blue hair. I'm just somebody who's lived in lots of different countries and has experienced society. And what I have learned is when you have a bunch of conservative religious hypocrites, nothing gets done. And they are the worst at hiding crimes against children. Half of those pastors are sex offenders. And most of them are crimes against children. So I have no problem talking out against these people. I'm glad she unsubbed. I really don't care. I mean, we've had it for too much time now, and I promise you, it's going to be more accepting of these types. You know. All right, guys, we did cover a heavy topic tonight, and I appreciate you hanging in. It is crazy, and I appreciate all of you and Thomas being the brave lad who stood with us. You're awesome, Thomas. Thomas is a great guy. And yeah, two of these my stepdad and his brother ruined my life from the age 14. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Charlie's mom. And I know there are a lot of young women and boys too who have been, primarily men. There are women who do commit crimes against children, and their lives are never the same. And I just don't think with this old pink puffing. I mean, give me a break. I'm tired of it. Why are we forgiving an old rapist, an old grapist? Why? With felonies with like guns and forgeries. I mean, how much? I don't forgive. This guy is trash. He is absolute effing trash. I'm sorry. Just doesn't do anything for society. And I'm sorry what you went through, Charlie's mom. And I will always call these types of people out and happily will do it. And will always stand for the vulnerable and the voiceless. I will always, and I will take the flak for it because I am not voiceless. I actually have a voice and I care to make my platform do something significant. Other than talk about Tim getting bent over at Nathan Benderson Park. But I'm suing him saying, you're sorry. Yeah, we all. Yeah, that's awful. It's just awful. And I just don't want to hear more stories like yours, Charlie's mom. I don't want more children to have to experience that. I don't get it when someone has an opinion that's different than ours, doesn't make them. It's our opinion. We're allowed them. I don't agree with everything you say, but it's all right. Yeah. And I don't agree either. I just don't like it when somebody tries to come in and say it's about the politics, you know? But unfortunately, this guy follows conservative values, and he's got a lot of that in his audience. And they have just a great way of forgiving people sometimes who've committed the worst crimes against children. And I don't understand why. Because they talk about family values, but they don't have any family values. It's an absolute hypocritical contradiction, and it's just the worst. I mean, seriously, you cannot keep saying that. You cannot. When you're stripping people of their rights to health care, when you're stripping away just access to things, no, just quiet with that. It's just so much hypocrisy. The only thing these people care about is some white Christian nationalist an agenda. And it's disgusting. And it's foul. And it makes you just ignorant. I just can't. Bunch of Nazis, most of them. Yeah, the fish rods from the head down. I know. I was hoping that, there was a time I actually had hope in society. And then ever since the social media and just rampant misogyny and just this whole like calling everybody woke, but then accepting like the most just vile behaviors from men has just reached a point where why are we accepting this? And then people are like, don't talk about that. No, I'm talking about it. If it makes my channel die, oh well, my channel's dead already. And we'll obviously talk about Timmy too. So don't worry. We'll still talk about Timmy. All right, guys. And we'll talk about Ouachita Mountain Man too, because he got all in a twist because I did a reaction, which is exactly what I thought he would do. So I have an innate sense of knowing the type of characters that are out there. And we either just keep accepting it, ladies and gentlemen, on the internets, or we don't. It's one or the other. And we can keep being gaslit by a bunch of people who want to say that your values mean nothing. But their values do mean something more than you. And then you're looking at their values and you see a bunch of hypocrites. Like, where's Mitch McConnell? Where is Mitch McConnell, Kentucky? I want to know. Where is Mitch McConnell? Foodie. Besides portrays himself as a guy who's just down on his luck when he's given evidence that regrets his former behavior and has become a contributing member of society. I think, yeah, he's down on his luck when he's given it. Yeah. Well, he plays he's down on his luck, but I think a lot of times that's just poverty porn in order to, get the heartstrings. You gotta think these con artists and these criminals and stuff, they know how to manipulate people. They learned that in the big house. I'm always offered to get, well, thank you guys. I knew we were in a dangerous place as a society and part of the FC, and people didn't give a shit. Yeah, exactly. They just didn't care. In fact, trying to make it more acceptable, like this guy's comment section, because I talked about Megyn Kelly's remarks about that. And, it just, well, it's a 14-year-old, and just this kind of like trying to move the bar down to where these men can violate a child. And that to me is petrifying. And and then they want to tell me about being a conservative. No, sorry. You don't get to talk about that and family values and wanting to like monitor a woman's womb and all of that. And then you're out here letting your men diddle kids. No, it doesn't work that way. And we're going to call out your hypocrisy. And that's not politics. That's just being a good human being. And that's the problem. These people don't even understand that like basic decency isn't politics. But it seems like their basic decency is, and they don't have any. You don't even, just like Florida man, he's cosplaying a poor soul who's trying to start over and feel good. After he got a bunch of money from the government and says he doesn't have any loans when he wrote a judge and said, I have loans, and then wrote to a judge about his fixed income and physical hardship and all this other BS that luckily the courts in Virginia don't buy. So, unlike all these other court systems, Virginia don't play. That's one thing Virginia does not do is play. So, maybe we need to get this old pink puffer emphysema guy over here into Virginia. Desperate. Oh, Megyn Kelly's the worst. I can't. All right, guys. I've been talking on this a long time. I'm sure I ruffled some feathers this evening, and I'm okay with that. They're always a victim when they get there. Yeah, they're always the victim. Always the victim. And it's everybody else too. And it's just everyone else is the problem. This is his business. No, it's everybody's business now, so sorry. Them's the apples. That's how it works. Because if society, some of us, I guess, have to try to protect the children of society. you know? And as somebody who works with kids as a pediatric RN and has seen the horrors of what these adults do to kids, I'm not protecting this POS. There's nothing that man could say that is ever be able to convince me that he has had any type of remorse, because he certainly does not have that. He still harbors to this day an animosity towards his victim. And that shows me that he has not been rehabilitated at all. So, yeah. Thank you, Thomas, for your generosity tonight, too. Yes. Yeah, hit the likes on the way out. Many European countries, age of consent is lower. In some, but they are being raised again. And there's always been questions around those ages of consent. And it's certainly not 14. At least in the UK. Most of those they were low in the 80s and 90s, and most of them have been increased. Like Sweden's was really low, and now it's been raised again. Because I think they realize that it's not appropriate. So, I know in certain states in the United States, it also varies. So, is he going to frame this? Yeah, he is. He's going to frame her as a Lolita. Absolutely. He already has. He's been doing that from day one. I'm always curious to know what happened to the child. If she wasn't, did she keep the child? Does he have a child out there? Mitch isn't in a new book. Where's Mitch? Remember, where's Mitch? Where's Mitch? It's like, where are the decent people? All right, guys. I got heated on this one because I've been reading about this guy's history all day, and then knowing what his chat was going to do. I already know. I already know what people are like. It's just wild to me. And I know that people get worried that this guy's going to get lynched or something. I don't think people are going to go out to do that. I think the only thing that most of us reasonable adults want is, one, people get informed of what his past behaviors have been, and two, to protect vulnerable people from sending this guy money. Because that's what this channel's about. It's about, and then the medical misinformation. If this guy is trying to tell this lady how to manage her multiple sclerosis, no. You do not pep talk your way out of an autoimmune disease. I mean, just the level of just stupidity on that is just mind-blowing to me. But, that people think you're going to pep talk your way out of something like multiple sclerosis. Just absolutely mind-blowing, Good stuff. Oh, well, I'm glad thank you for joining. I just found that fact interesting. That is an interesting fact. But I know within the United States, it varies too. And I think in England, they raised it. It used to be much younger, but like 16. But I think they raised it to 18 now. So most countries in Europe are beginning to raise that age of consent. It's certainly not as low as 14. Maybe it used to be in Sweden, but I don't believe so anymore. Because I think they realized that was inappropriate. I think they actually raised theirs up to 18. So it's, but it doesn't seem to matter that there's an age of consent, because it seems like people like this guy are quite comfortable having intercourse with a 13-year-old. 16 in New Zealand. Yeah, well, you really, scary to think of a 16-year-old with a, 46-year-old, isn't it? That's young. It is young. I'm hoping most 16-year-olds are not engaging that way, but yeah, it's too young. Yeah, I would say it's too young. I would say mentally that is too young. I don't care how mature or anybody, I promise you, they're not mature. And most of us remember what we were like, and we were not that mature. Sarasota Tim might have thought he was mature getting married at 16. I don't think so. All right, guys. It was a good one. Thank you for all the support. Make sure to hit the likes on the way out. Thomas, thank you for the memberships. Thank you all the new supporters of the channel. Thank you for allowing me to have this serious conversation. Because even though it's funny to always just laugh and stuff, part of, like I said, my reason for my channel as a registered nurse is to bring about information and education to people. And sometimes the topics are going to be tough. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.